What's up, everybody? How you doing? LJ Young back again for another Q&A Sundays with SMD, Savings Minus Debt family. Welcome. Give you guys a chance to get up in here, as always, about 3 minutes before we get started. Tell you who I am, and for those of you that are new, tell you who I am and what is the purpose of Q&A Sunday. What's up, Joseph? How you doing, man? First one in here. Appreciate you. Welcome. Welcome to another Q&A Sunday. Q&A Sunday. I like that. Okay. I'll be spitting bars, man. What's up, Nicer? Hello. Get up in here. We're going to wait about 3 minutes total. We're 1 minute in, 2 more minutes, and then we're going to get started. Hello, hello. Welcome to the SMD family. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Get this straight a little bit there. That's right on top of me. Let me see right there. It's good. Yeah, the weather's heating up here. It's what is it today? It's like 80, 82, 83 degrees here in South Carolina. What's up, Ill Wills? What's going on, man? I'm good. I'm good. Just putting together tomorrow's show, writing out my points. I'm excited to tell you guys about my life story tomorrow. I really am. It's going to be one of those stories. Let's put it this way. It's going to be a story how instead of being after the fact story, it's going to be it's going to be a story of what could have been had I not changed my life direction. Okay. What's up, Quentin Cosmic? What's going on? It's more of what could have been. And because I do a lot of reflection, right? I do a lot of reflection of being aware today when I wasn't aware when I was younger. So it's going to be a very, I've been thinking about this for quite a few years, actually. You know, who could I tell my story to? You know, I used to always think that, man, people need to hear this story. People need to hear it. So. All right, we're going to get started here. Those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the SMD family, Savings Minus Debt family. I'm your host, LJ Young. I am a 50-year-old, 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix, like imagine a box, you know, like the Borg. You know, debt matrix is a place where people, they live there that believe in credit and debt and believe in financing everything that goes down in value. They believe they are homeowners while having a mortgage. They believe they got a car on sale while financing it for 84 months, right? That's where everybody lives. And that's where I lived for the first 40 years of my life, right? Until I started believing in math, got out of debt, and became free. Now I'm outside the debt matrix. And what I do is, and since I experienced this total financial freedom is living on the north side of zero. It's not $1 million, not $1 billion, not $1 trillion, just north of zero, right? So since experiencing this type of freedom, I've had a passion to help others feel the same type of freedom. So what I do is I expose the glitches in the debt matrix. And the glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense, but yet people keep doing them, right? They just keep, you know, like I said just a minute ago, they believe they're homeowners with mortgages. They believe they get finance cars on sale. They finance phones. And, you know, you're like, hey, you know, if you finance that phone, you're going to be paying like double the price of that phone. Does that make any sense, right? Because math and money are one, right? Now I interchange them, but they are separate, but they work together, right? If math didn't exist, we wouldn't have the ability to count money. We would just look at stacks of money and go, what do I do with that, right? And the only thing that can separate math from money are feelings, right? How people feel about how people feel about math, right? They just, they believe that, um, what is the best way to say that? They believe it's okay to finance cell phones, right? If they're paying only $60 a month, they can afford it. They believe payments, like when they go buy something, they listen to the words like, hey, I'm gonna buy that house. Well, actually, you're not gonna buy that house. You're gonna finance that house, right? Oh, there's only one way to buy a house. To buy a house, that's with cash. Anything outside of that is called financing. It's not buying anything, right? It's just these terms that people use, they interchange them. And so I expose those things. And then once I help people realize this, it's a lifestyle change, right? Once you understand what I teach, there is no going back. You won't wake up one day and say, I don't feel like being debt free anymore or whatever, right? But so that's what I do, right? All right, what's up, Gabriel, Cosmic Wisdom? Hello. I know Ill Will says I'm waiting for that one. I bet you are, man. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be, and you know what? And I was thinking about too, man. I am humbled, and I appreciate that there are people that want to hear my story, right? Because if a stranger came up to me and said, "Hey, can I tell you my personal life story?" You'd be like, "Why would I want to hear that? I don't want to know it," right? But to have people look forward to hearing my story is awesome. That is very humbling within itself, right? It's just, how many people want to know that of another person? I've never wanted to. I mean, maybe a famous person, of course, but a total stranger, you don't walk up, hey man, I want to hear your story. It doesn't work like that. All right. Gabriel says, what's your thought saying debt is good and saving is trash? Those are feelings. Gabriel, those are adjectives. Those are adjectives. Those are things that describe debt. Anybody that say things like that to you, you ask them, why are you telling me your feelings why are you trying to describe your debt? Why are you telling me your feelings? Good debt? Like when somebody says good debt, you got to remember, they can only be talking about themselves, right? They can't say, hey, you have good debt, or hey, you have bad, they can't say that. So tell people to stop describing debt. What's up, Dave? How you doing? Those are adjectives, Gabriel. So anybody that does that, don't pay attention. All right. Ill Will says, people believe you pay in small chunks. It doesn't matter to finance objects because it doesn't hurt their pockets. Little do they realize. Well, they believe like, it's funny about being in debt, right? You're in the negative. So any chunk, small, whatever, it's still in the negative. So the size of a monthly amount really doesn't matter because they're in debt. So they don't know that. And the reason why they look at things that way because they're in debt, right? So it's not really a big deal. Joseph says Cosmic. Oh, okay. Talking Cosmic. Dave Sear. Herbert Walker, what's going on, man? LJ, tell your story to the members only group. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Herbert. I'm not telling it today. No, I'm telling members only group tomorrow at 6 p.m. Monday. Yeah, I wouldn't tell my story out in the open. No, I'm only going to tell it to the people that want to hear it. I'm not just going to tell it to random people, right? So I'm not doing that. It's pointless to do that. Their pockets, I meant to say. Oh, I know what you meant. Trust me. Herbert Walker, salute fam. Yeah, Herbert, it's just to the members only group, not here. Because it's not going to be some short story. I'm going to start all the way from where I grew up to where I am today. And the wonderful thing about it is I couldn't have been the man I am today without all these previous experiences, right? And now that I'm here, it's nice to be able to look back at the old me and realize how much I didn't know, why things are the way they are, et cetera, et cetera. It's just and honestly, you guys, I've been wanting to, it's almost like to get it off my chest, right? And and it's going to help a lot of people, especially young people, because I was young when I was doing certain things, right? I was young, right? So my mind, I think about my mindset back then, it was so wrong. It was it was just society, right? You're born, you look around and say, hey, everybody's doing this. I guess I got to do it too. No, and you don't have to do it. You have a choice. You always have, remember this, young people, you always have a choice. And here's the main one. Okay, here's the main one. If the choice involves, now remember this way, time is the most valuable thing on earth. You can't get more of it. And if the choice involves something that's going to take away the time in your life, it's not the right choice ever. It's never the right choice. Okay, remember that. All right. Thank you, Ill Wills. Appreciate you as always. What's good, Mecca? Members only tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. And guess what? I'll tell you then. I'll tell you the members when we get the members up. You guys, I'm going to surprise you. Cosmic says, LJ, do you feel people are distracted given the current events? What are you seeing that you are surprised about? Honestly, Cosmic, what I was telling you before, the reason why I'm no longer surprised, because I just look at the majority of the people. I just look at what people do. I'm not businesses, stock market, all that stuff. I really don't pay attention to that stuff. I pay attention to the majority. I always say to myself, what would the majority do if put in certain circumstances? What would they do? And when I'm honest with myself of what they would do, I'm not surprised. So say like, remember before when I said the gyms are going to be closed till next year, sports are going to be out of here, they won't be happening until next year. Remember I was saying that? But had I took a step back and said, hey, if they open those things back up, what would the majority of the people do? Even though there's a killer virus out there, they would go back to the games. They would go to the gyms. They would do everything like nothing ever happened. And they do this on social media. They're begging for it to be back to, hey, I can't wait till things get back to normal. I can't wait for things to get back to normal. That's what the majority would do. So nothing really surprises me what's happening. So I just kind of like right now I'm looking at the climate of the United States, of the world. Really, it's the world economy, really, but we just focus on the United States because that's the country we live in. But if things keep going the way they're going, it's going to be martial law. That's all. But I think there's going to be the biggest bailout in history. I know that. Thank you. Shout out to Ill Wills. Appreciate you, man. What's up, Jewel? Hello. Welcome. Gabriel says, in Las Vegas, they open the casinos and nobody is social distancing like if COVID never happened. Exactly. And honestly, that's exactly how it was designed to be. Now, this is what I'm saying is just my opinion. But again, here's another, just like what Cosmic was asking me earlier. If they opened up Vegas, what would the majority do? They would go back to Vegas. Okay. What if they opened everything back up, would the majority let COVID just fade off like it never happened? Yes, they would. Yes, they would. It's gonna, if everything starts to calm down, right? Martial law needs not to be called, right? Everything's gonna go back to normal as if COVID never happened. But they still have a card in their pocket because they can just open it up and say, "Hey, there's a second wave." You know, it could happen like that. Okay. Appreciate you, Ill Will. Let me throw that up there for people just so they know too. There you go. See, Quinn says Vegas is back open, is jam packed. See, that's exactly what the majority would do. They would go back as if nothing ever happened. If everything calms down, I'm telling you, everything's going to fade. But check this out. I want you guys to also notice something too. We're in the middle of a worldwide recession with millions of people out of work. Millions of people can't even pay their mortgages and car notes, but yet Vegas is packed. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me. They're back to spending money that doesn't even exist. People in debt don't really understand that money doesn't exist for them. So Mecca says here in Michigan, they cut school hours now. They made schools only 6 hours, so they school from 8 to 2. Wow. So are you saying school's back open, Mecca, or that's they're just saying that's what the new hours are? Appreciate your ill wills. Now, Q&A Sundays are about you guys, okay? Q&A Sundays about you guys. So I just put a title, what should I do during a worldwide pandemic? It's totally up to you. If you have financial questions, you can ask of me or people inside of here. There are SMD family members in here that might be a more expertise on certain questions that you might answer. But I'm here to answer your questions, okay? All right. Appreciate you, ill wills. What's up, high fees? What about concerts? I've been wanting to see Justin Bieber in concert. That'll be back. I mean, again, always look at the majority. If they allow Justin Bieber to have a concert, would people go? Yes, they would. So be looking forward to that. Dave Sincere says, I saw the news today and people are starting to get their eviction notices. I heard about that. I heard they're starting to get their eviction notices now. That's why I'm saying that there must be a large bailout of some. It's going to be a lot of money, and slaves are going to be paying for it for the next 100 years. All right, they are. Erica says, what do you think about Roth IRAs? As long as all the, because I believe Roth is, you can contribute after tax. As long as you have fulfilled all the pre-tax retirement plans, that's when I would probably touch that one. But until my 401k is maxed, until my HSA is maxed, anything pre-tax, all that's first, any pre-taxes. And if you got some extra money, you want to do that, great. That's cool. Mecca says, that's the new hours when school opens back up in fall. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Dave Sincere says, hey, I thought sports, casinos, clubs, concerts would be closed for a while as well. We just didn't factor in that the American public values their finances and freedoms more than life. You're exactly right, Dave. You're exactly right. Exactly right. That's what I did. You know what I was doing, Dave? I was thinking about in my mentality. Oh man, I wouldn't risk my life for that, but the majority would. And then after a while, after things start getting back to normal, they're going to start to think Corona was fake. And then it's just going to fade away if they let it go that far. I'm just saying, I'm not really looking past until the climate of the United States calms down. I'm not even looking past that because nobody can predict what's going on right now. Nobody can predict where it's going. Oh, appreciate it. Shout out to, if I can pronounce that name. Oh, okay. Okay. Shout out to Mecca for the $15 Cash App donation. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Mecca. I saw the first name. I was like, uh-oh, somebody's trying to mess me up. Let's see. Cosmic says, I knew Americans would go back to normal like those cruise ship bookings, and people don't like change. Exactly. True. Ill Will says Roth is after tax. Okay, yeah, after tax. Yeah. That's why I said before tax, Roth is definitely after tax. So, but I would max out all pre-tax first because that's a phantom income. Cosmic says, I like Roth IRAs. It gives you tax-free money versus 401k, which is when you withdraw, it's taxed as normal. I like pre-tax because I get my money now. Like when I contribute to 401k, my savings is instant, right? HSA is instant, right? Instant money, right? But the Roth IRAs is late. I mean, they're both good, but I like getting money today, right? Roth IRAs you save later because you put in with after-tax money and then it's not taxed later. So Quentin says, what's your opinion on the job market? 2 million jobs got created last month. I'm not looking past, honestly, Quentin, I cannot look past, I try not to look too far in the future. I always pay attention to what's happening now because now always creates the future. So right now, we just heard on June 1st, the president declare martial law, right? We have you look on the news, it look like when you see burnt out cars on the road, that look like we're in Beirut or something. It's like right now, I'm not looking past the burnt out cars. Okay. Until we figure out what's going on with that, I'm not going to really, because the few jobs we had destroyed. Right. So I saw that big, what is that? Amazon warehouse get burned down in California. Can you imagine how many jobs lost right there? Man. Again, I appreciate that, Mecca. Erica says, asking because I'm self-employed, so I don't think I qualify for 401k. Erica, I think that would be a question for Cosmic. I think Cosmic would better understand the self-employed 401ks, because I do believe there are 401ks for, yeah, okay, she's already on it. All right. Thank you, Cosmic. Appreciate you. It will says it depends on what jobs and what sectors are those jobs being created. I believe unemployment is at 13% now, for 24%, down 24% in March. And you got to remember, the new economy is here. So jobs are going to be created, but I guarantee you the majority of those are going to start being 1099s, right? And people are not going to be making the money they used to make before the pandemic. Those days are done. That's not, I mean, again, it counts on what Ill Rose is right. It counts on what sector you're talking about. But the majority of people that got laid off or fired or whatever, right? They are, put it this way, they got laid off. The people that stayed, it's called essential, got reduction. The majority of, not every of them, the majority of them got a 20% reduction in pay. So when the people come back, they're not going to bring back as many people, and the people that do come back are going to be coming back at a reduction in pay. They're not going to raise okay, we're going to give everybody 20% back again. No, you're not. You're not going to see that for a very long time. So that 20% is gone for a while, right? Mecca says, I see the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Behaviors are changing, but a lot are not adopting. Yeah, they're not. You got to remember this, Mecca. People in debt don't know what's really happening. They don't know what's really happening. They're begging. They're literally begging for things to go back to normal. You know, if you turn to a person and say, hey, what do you mean go back to normal? What does that mean? They won't have an answer for you. And then you go, hey, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals your normal. That's what you're looking to go back to? That normal? That student loan debt, credit card debt? Is that what you're looking forward to? Okay, well, all right. Cosmic says, I don't believe the unemployment rate. They already admitted they didn't classify the people correctly. Those numbers are baloney. I believe I'm with Cosmic on this. I don't pay attention to that stuff. And Mecca, I'm gonna go back to you again. I don't really pay attention. I pay attention to people. Right now, there are millions of people unemployed, right? Half of those people are not getting those jobs back because they don't even exist. The businesses, half the businesses that they worked at they're going out of business. This is big. People don't really understand how big this is. This is huge. And we're still, the hurricane is still sitting out in the Atlantic Ocean. It's still sitting out there. It hasn't even hit land yet. It's just turning. We can feel the wind. We can feel the wind from the hurricane right now, but it hasn't hit land yet. We're still not there yet. We're going to see what happens when the president, again, he declared martial law. He didn't have to say it. But he did it. Soon as you heard the president say, hey, I'm going to bring in the military, that alone tells you that's the only way he can do that, bring into the military on its own nation, martial law. And he said it. Okay. Dave Sincere says, let me say I have a BS degree in economics. One thing I learned with stats, due to the way people choose to calculate numbers and results can be used to substantiate their point, like with the unemployment rate, is based on how many people have filed for unemployment. There are people that are jobless that haven't applied yet. Yeah. Also, in order for people to apply, they can't be currently receiving severance. So if you're getting severance for 3 months, the unemployment numbers don't count you. See what I'm saying? Law of the numbers. That's why I love math. Love it. Ill Will says IRS is coming, calling in July. IRS is coming, calling in July. Remember, the tax deadlines are coming. This will be a tsunami. Yeah, you know what? I honestly believe the IRS is going to wait. Right now would not be a good time for the IRS to come in and spank people, right? Then right now is not a good time, right? People are the whole climate of the United States, the whole world, but I'm just focusing on the United States. Right now is not a good time to come in and then say, hey, by the way, I know I'm gonna kick you while you're down. You owe us taxes. So they're probably just gonna back off a little bit. They ain't going anywhere. They got all the time in the world. Everything's recorded, everything's recorded. So they're not going to come in right now, because right now would just not be a good time to kick people while they're down, especially when they're in survival mode. Because if you're out here with no job, no place to live, do you think are you really caring about the IRS? Not really. You're worrying about how to eat, clothe yourself, get a job. You're not really worrying about that kind of stuff, right? So I don't think they're going to do anything right now. Right now would be not a good time to do that. Ill Will says IRS. Oh, I already said that. What's up, Hyphy? Y'all going to learn your lesson one day about believing reported statistics. That is very true. Ill Will says it's only common sense. The government is cooking the books on the unemployment rate. If they announce the rates are not positive, that will tank the markets. Please with the civil unrest. Not a good look. Right now is not a good time to do any of that stuff. All you gotta do is just look around you. You don't really need to look at statistics. You don't really need to pay attention to any of that stuff. Just say there's millions of jobs lost. There's millions of people out of work. That's not good, period. So when you see Vegas packed, when you drive down the street and you see restaurants packed, you see water parks packed. Like I live in Myrtle Beach, you see water parks and the beaches. You would believe things are back to normal. They're not. That's an illusion. What you're seeing are illusions. When you see the stock market's going up, that's an illusion for people in debt. The stock market right now, those are rich people. Those are people with money. But if you're in debt, that's an illusion. Okay. Cosmic says IRS is not going to wait, LJ. I just think right now the climate of the U.S. is just too high. That might send somebody over the edge. I'm not going to call what they're going to do. Cosmic says they will work on a payment plan, but they won't wait. I believe that. I've never allowed myself to be in trouble with the IRS anyway, so maybe they will, maybe they won't. Probably. I'm not sure. Dave Sincere says, like Chris Rock says, there are 3 people you don't ever want to mess with: the I, the R, the S. And you know what's so crazy? When people hear about the IRS, they fear the IRS. You don't have to fear the IRS. Just follow the rules, right? There's rules. The IRS says, hey, here's the page. You go to IRS website, irs.gov, whatever the page is, says, these are the rules. Hey, you're trying to do what? Okay, here's the rules for that. And you just follow the rules. You follow the rules. You don't have to be afraid. It's like sports fanatics. Say like you're a football player, right? And you like football, and you get ready to go on the field to play. Are you scared of the referees? Are you scared of what the referees are going to say on the field? Ooh, who are those guys in those striped shirts? Oh my God, I'm nervous. No, because you know the rules, right? You probably don't even see them. It's the same thing, exact same thing. Gabriel says, I can't believe people want to go back to normal, whatever their normal is, right? Mecca says, I saw the news that Trump used force to move peaceful protesters out of his way to walk to a church that was vandalized. Then he held up the Bible. That's telling me he is going to use power. He said to me, he said that in the podium the other day. That's what I saw. I said, basically, he's like, hey, I'm not messing around. I'm about to stop all this nonsense. Dave says, that's right. Stock market is about rich people, not the everyday person in debt. People don't realize the economy and the stock market are 2 completely different things. They are. Now, imagine this, that if 85% of Americans are in debt, that means those people don't really have any money. That means they're in the negative, right? And if though and of those 85% of people invest in the stock market, that means they're investing with money that they don't even have, aka borrowed money from who? The bank. They're indirectly investing in the stock market for the bank, and they don't even know that. Don't even know it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yo, Wills. Put that back up there. Oh, it just disappears when I do that. Okay. Let's see here. Mecca says all the rich receive PPP and use that money to buy. You're right, Mecca. You're exactly right. They bought back their stocks to buy stocks when they were low, double that money, and then give. I think Cosmic and I were talking about this the other day. Gave it back. That's how I see the rich getting richer. They gave us crumbs. You know what's so crazy? They taking that money and buying back their stocks at a lower bottom basement rate. They're buying all their stuff back. It's just crazy. I mean, they still got to pay back the PPP money, but imagine the money that they're going to make by buying back their own stocks at a low rate. They'll be able to pay back that PPP money, no problem at all. Not them. The customers are going to be paying it. Let me get that straight. They are not going to be paying back the PPP money. The customers are going to be paying back that PPP money for them. Okay. Now, today's about you guys. Keep the questions coming. They can be for me or any other SMD family member in the group. We're going to keep this going as long as there are questions. You know, I don't want to keep it up like I always do every 3 hours, talking 3 hours. So Cosmic says, I was in an investor group and there are private money people buying the PPP debt notes. Oh boy. Lots of people are going to get those PPP loan payments. Oh, buying the PPP debt notes. Well, who's selling those PPP debt notes? Who's selling those? Cosmic says, exactly, LJ. Not everyone is struggling. They are making major money moves. Oh, what's up, O'Shea? Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. I'm not sure what that means. UGX 15,000. I'm assuming that's a donation. I appreciate it. Super chat donation. Yeah. Hey, bro, I just got your email. You free tonight? Yeah. What time? What's today? Sunday? Yeah. What time? You know, I'm East Coast time. So right now, O'Shea, it's 2:32 p.m. 2:32 p.m. So shoot me email and let me know, okay? 15 G's, yeah. Nice. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, $15,000 super chat donation. O'Shea's my friend, okay? That's the man right there. That's the man. 15,000 super chat. Shout out to O'Shea. Okay, I appreciate you, man. I know you're a busy dude, man. I know what kind of work you be putting in your videos. I know people don't understand what kind of work that takes. So thank you. I appreciate it, man. Just let me know when you're ready and we can do that for sure. Ill Will says he is in the motherland saving. Okay, yeah. I know O'Shea's out of the country somewhere, but I didn't know where he was at the moment. Because I know he be jumping countries, you know. Appreciate you, O'Shea. O'Shea's, man, he put me on his show in the very beginning when I was first starting on my channel, man. So I'll forever appreciate that, man. He said, Ill Will says, Dr. Jackson is balling, LJ. He says, nope, I'm broke. Cosmic says, there are people, government that sell debt notes. Okay. So people buy those notes and become a bank. Okay, that makes sense. They get those payments with interest to them. That's what's going on with those PPP loans. Yeah, I know. I've always known there's bigger things going on, but that's way above my grade, right? O'Shea says, I'm broke. SS excels. O'Shea, stay cooking up them edits. O'Shea be putting in that work, man. Those videos, I'll be like, hey, I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing. But you know, you always can tell when somebody's doing what they love. Then you know that's a passion. You can clearly see that. And that's what you ever notice, like when you go to somebody says, hey, subscribe to me, right? And then you go check out their page And then they don't have no videos. It's like, why would I subscribe to you? You're not putting in any work, right? You go to O'Shea's channel, man. He's putting in work. He got 2, and he got more than that. I just know the 2 of his YouTube channels. Nicer says, first time super chat with different currency. He came in here once before and did that same thing. I was just like, what is that? 15,000. I can use that. I can use that in this economy right now, for sure. So any other questions while we're in here? Today's Q&A Sunday. It's all for you guys. You know, ask away, ask me. If I can't answer, somebody in the SMD family maybe can answer. Cosmic's really good at that stuff. NC Biggs says, big fan of O'Shea. I think, yeah, NC Biggs and I was talking this morning about how he found me off of O'Shea's channel, right? So I remember when I first went, well, I've been on O'Shea a couple times now, I believe, yeah. So I remember after shows, I mean, people would still linger in, coming in from O'Shea's channel, talking about, hey, I found you on O'Shea's channel, and it's like 2-3 months later. So that's real cool. Oh, Uganda shillings. Okay. Any other questions? Today's about you guys. We're only going to go as long as you guys are asking questions. We're only 36 minutes in, so let's keep it going. You can ask me any question you want, and if you're new from another channel, you can ask me questions. If you're new over here and you saw me from Denzel's channel, maybe you want to ask me something. You saw me say something on the channel. You want to talk to me about it. Right here is cool. You know, you can do it right now. When is O'Shea gonna give me a collard green sandwich? SS Excel says he do good stuff with the after party streams. After party streams. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, O'Shea be doing all kind of stuff. After party streams. All right. Mecca says, at first, I used to have anxiety about going back to work, but now I don't even care. I'm not going back until the stay-at-home order is lifted. Your whole world changed, man. It really does. It just changes. The way you look at a job, and I ain't gonna lie to you guys, a regular job terrifies me. It really does. It terrifies me. It absolutely 40-hour work week, weekends off, work done after 5, that kind of stuff, man. That literally terrifies me. What I do is I use that energy to put out more. I keep putting out videos, try different things, make things happen, because I don't want that 40-hour work week life. I just don't. I can't even imagine going back to work, talking about the debt things that people talk about at work. It's mind numbing. Any other questions? We're going to go as long as you guys are asking questions. Yep, there are protests around the world. That's most definitely. Oh, Uncle found me from O'Shea too. Damn, shout out to that, man. That's why I said shout out to O'Shea, man. O'Shea be putting in that work. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys telling me that, man, because I like to let him know too when I get on the show. And hey, man, your people still coming over, finding me. Mecca says, while paying off debt, student loans, is there a way to write off for tax purposes? Write off what? I think you can write off the interest on student loans, but I don't think there's anything outside of that. If I'm right, I'm pretty sure that's right. Cosmic says, LJ, I think restaurants will have to increase prices to stay in business if they can't seat the regular number of people. And you know what? Let me tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, Cosmic. I took my woman out to Captain George. Did we go yesterday? What's today? Sunday? Yeah, yesterday, right? We went to Captain George, and that's an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. They had to seat people in every other table, right? And you walk in, you got to put on gloves. You got to serve. The only way you can get your food is you got to have gloves on. As soon as you walk in, the waiters they're all lined up against the wall with masks on. And as soon as you walk in, they're taking you to your seat, making sure nobody sits next to each other. They got signs all over the table. You can't sit here. You can't sit here. Blah blah blah. So it's pretty. And they have to do something because they're not going to be making that kind of money. I don't know. They're going to have to jack the prices, like Cosmic said. They're going to have to. Will says, we talk behind the scenes. I'm not even dealing with the office environment. Community spaces like sharing bathrooms, I'm good. Right, exactly. Ill Wills, man, check this out, man. When I was looking for jobs, and when I look at those requirements for some of those computer jobs, I just be like, my stomach starts to turn. And when you're out of the computer game, if you look how many things they want you to know on a job application, oh my God, especially for a tier 3 type computer job, it's like, if I really knew all the things that you're looking for, you would be paying me double the price that you're giving. There's no way. Gabriel says, what scares you more, of being in debt or getting a job? Oh, being in debt. Oh yeah. I mean, Gabriel, if I have to get a job, I got to get a job. But being in debt, no. No, sir. No, I'm not being in debt. I mean, once I'm out of debt, I'm not going to get in debt. Something really, I mean, a pandemic would have to put me in debt. Like, we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. If I had to go in debt right now, that would be the reason. Hey, LJ, you preach about not going in debt. How come you went in debt? A worldwide pandemic? That's why. What do you mean? You know that virus that was killing people? Yeah, that put me in debt. Yeah, that one that was killing people. Yeah, that one. Not just the United States. No, the whole world. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you can write off the interest on, and you got to remember, Mecca, that's what I believe. This is my opinion. I believe they allow people to write off the interest on student loans because it makes them feel good about having student loans, right? And this is why I say that, because when I had student loans, I felt good that I could write off the interest on my student loans. I was like, woo, I could write off that interest on my student loans. But Linnell, you've had your student loan for 10 years. Linnell, LJ, didn't you go to college for 4 years? Yeah. Then why do you have your student? I wish somebody would have said it to me just like that. You went to college for 4 years, LJ, right? Yeah. Then why do you have your student loans for 10 years? Didn't you take math? You passed math, right? You got your degree, right, LJ? Yeah, I did. Then why are you having your student loans for 10 years? I don't know. Cosmic says, can't write off principal payments for student loans. You get a portion of your interest via taxes. Yep. Right. People are happy to write off interest on something that they don't even have to have, and they're happy about it. That was me. Same with mortgages for your primary residence rentals. You can write off the whole payment. All right, Cosmic's going into A. She's starting to speak alien. Don't go off too much in the alien, Cosmic. Mecca says, I've been looking into it. If I have a board of directors for my LLC, I gave pay them a salary amount of the student loans, write that off, and then give it back to me as a gift. Okay, you're talking something that sounds like it's a good thing. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not doubting what you're saying, but I'm like, wow, okay, what you doing? Create a board of directors for my LLC. I gave them a salary amount of my student loans, write that off, and wow. Okay. I'm sure Cosmic can understand that a little more. Will says, facts, LJ, they are mixing system engineer positions with network. I know, I saw that. They're mixing them now. That is totally different animal. They kill me with that job list. Oh, man. I'm going to start, you know what I might do just for fun? I might start applying for these jobs and just say I know all of it. Yeah, I know all that. Yeah, I know all that. All of it. Uncle says, I just refinanced the house and I pulled out some money. I can continue to pay off debt without using this money and be out of credit card debt immediately, or continue my plan to be out best in 6 months. Let me see what you're saying, Uncle. Okay. I refinanced my house and pulled the money out. So what you're saying is I went deeper in debt. I pulled out money. That means I borrowed some more money. I can continue to pay off debt without using this money and be out of credit card debt. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Uncle, but what you're saying is that you went deeper in debt. You took your house back from a 20-year back to a 30-year. You pull some money out, which means borrowing, and you're gonna pay off debt without using it. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, man. I'm not quite sure what you're saying. But from what you're telling me is that you went deeper in debt. Okay. That's what you did right there. You just went deeper in debt for some reason. I'm not sure why you did that. Let's see. Cosmic. Appreciate you, Ill Wills. Cosmic says, one watch out, Mecca. The IRS has limitations on gift amounts, hence me saying consult your CPA. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't. Make sure you do everything that's legitimate. All right. And this is what I say. What you're trying to do, Mecca, make sure your CPA is debt free. Okay. Make sure you don't get a CPA that's in debt. Because if you get one that's debt free, they will fully understand why you're doing what you're doing. Right. And they will follow the rules, because there's absolutely no excuse to break the rules. Don't do any of that. You hire somebody to say, this is what I want to do. Make sure it's all legal. Okay. Make sure it's legal. Cutting no corners. Ill Will says, did he get a HELOC? Sound like the velocity banking concept. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like Uncle, it sounds like you're trying to borrow your way out of debt. And I suggest not doing that. Don't do that. That's not true of what you're doing. You're saying that I'm taking this money, I can use it, not use it. It doesn't matter. It's you got to remember, it's not your money. So Nicer says this pandemic is creating thousands, if not millions, of germaphobes. Yeah. Can you imagine a person that was already a germaphobe before the pandemic? Oh man, this must be like a living hell for them. Any other questions? Any other questions? Today's about you guys. Today's about you guys. Okay. Today's we'll keep going as long as the questions coming. Keep coming. Cosmic says, LJ, when you say debt free, what about if your SMD number is over $1 million, but you still have debt? What would you say in this? LJ, when you say debt free, what about if your SMD number is over $1 million, but you still have debt? I'm not quite sure what you're asking, Cosmic. I'm not sure what you mean by that. And the way you're talking, that kind of money, you're talking business debt, Cosmic. So, business debt is different than personal debt. Business debt is taxed very differently than personal debt. So I'm assuming that's why you're saying that. Any questions? Any questions? Keep it going. Let's keep it going. Any questions? Maybe you're nervous about what you should do financially during a worldwide pandemic. Because when I'm on social media, man, there are so many people with these get rich quick schemes, get out of debt fast, velocity. But you gotta remember, when you hear people describe debt with the adjective, you got to be very careful, right? You got to ask yourself, why are they describing debt? Velocity banking, infinite banking, savage financing. I'm seeing all these names on the savage financing. It's like, why are you describing money? Why are you doing that? Because that's how people in debt, that's what they're attracted. They're attracted to words like that: fast, savage, velocity, infinite. Oh man, that must be important. Look how listen how it sounds. Yeah, yeah, that's what you think. Cosmic says, you can have debt, but your net worth is over 1 million, even personal debt in that scenario. Yeah, if you have more in let's just say savings. If you have more in savings and you have a little bit of debt, you're still above zero because the math says so. Say like you had $1 million in savings, okay, but you had $50,000 in debt. Mathematically, you're not in debt. You're still above zero. So you're not really mathematically in debt, right? So SS Excel says, should I do boot camp self study or school for coding? That's a good question, man. Ill Wills, what you think, man? What you think about that? Because I was in the computer industry for 20 years, so I went to college for mine, but this is a different time. I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's a very good question. I'm not sure. I am not sure about that. Because I don't know if a job is going to be looking to hire somebody that went to a boot camp, and it counts on what type of job you're looking for. It counts on what area. Any other questions? Financial questions? Keep it going as long as you go. And if I hook up with O'Shea tonight, I'll let you guys know. I'll shoot you guys the link and everything. Okay, just let you guys know if you guys want to join, if you have time to join or whatever. IT, yeah. What do you SS? What are you thinking about? What part of IT are you thinking about getting into? Is it just coding? You like that, or are you just doing that for the money? Are you saying, hey, that area makes the most money, I'm doing it for that? For what's your reasons? Nicer says, if I had a platform and was promoting those things like velocity banking, I would be embarrassed to show my face right now. You know what, Nicer? I understand what you're saying. I understand how I feel about it, but it's a business. It's sort of like a multi-level marketing, right? It's legal. People that join multi-level marketing really do believe when they make people believe that they are literally their own business owner when they're really not their own business owner, right? But if they can feel like that, great, whatever, right? But it's legal. Cosmic says, so what I would say do business with people in the positive SMD number. You can't find that out from a credit report is all I'm saying. Well, you can if you can see their whole entire credit report. You can see that. You say, hey, let me see your entire credit report. And then you can look at it and see, right? I mean, you would have to prove it. I mean, Cosmo, I'm saying if you're literally going to go into business, they're going to have to prove it, right? Okay, let me see your full entire credit report, see where it's, because right there, it's more than just you got to remember, it's more than just the actual debt number, Cosmic. You want to see how they treat the business of themselves. If their personal finances are a mess, you're not going to go into business with them. You're just not. You're going to be like, oh, damn, you got collections. You owe money to the IRS. You're going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Herbert Walker says, LJ, in my opinion, personal debt outside of a mortgage is still debt. In my opinion, personal debt outside of a mortgage is still debt. Yes. And a mortgage is debt too. That's debt as well. Cosmic says a credit report is a good hint, but there is more to consider in that equation. I'm not a credit report, the credit numbers, that's a hint, but seeing their credit report, not only am I looking for debt, I'm looking for a nightmare. If it's a nightmare, I'm not doing anything with them. It Will says, I will look into Python coding. I remember that. Many platforms run Python these days. If you're a diligent person, go for it. You have to be meticulous while coding. See, yeah, I'm good with that. Mecca says, LJ, how did you stay focused when paying off your debt? First of all, I was by myself. I wasn't with anybody when I was getting out of debt. I wasn't with anybody dating seriously, so I didn't have to question. I didn't have to really get with anybody. Once I discovered, Mecca, that the freedom I was getting from paying debt off, paying debt off, and then what you don't realize is when you pay off those debts, you have one less due date to keep track of. I didn't realize when I was in debt how many different due dates I had to keep track of. That's impossible. That's impossible to keep up with that many dates, right? Once I start paying off my debt, I noticed that I didn't have to keep track of many due dates. And that was awesome. That was really awesome. Cosmic says, you can't see their assets on the credit report. No, I know. I'm not, again, Cosmic, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for their debt, and I'm looking to see if their credit report is a nightmare. IRS collections, period, right? If you see their credit report and it's a nightmare, you're really not going to care about what type of assets they have. It really doesn't matter at that point, because you can start right there and pretty much will know everything you need to know. Mecca says, I like I've been telling everyone, I'm not doing any social gathering unless it's a wedding or graduation. If it's not about business, I'm not going to be there. It's costing me too much. Yes, sure is. Oops. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I knew you would. I knew what you were saying, Cosmic. And I definitely know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, like, if you look at their entire credit report and you see it's a nightmare, you're going to be like, ooh, yeah, I don't care what kind of assets you got. Look at that. You got a 20-year-old student loan. You owe the IRS how much? Oh, yeah, no. Hyphy says, she means your financial portfolio. That paired with your credit report reveals more accuracy for sure. SS Excel says to make more money to invest. You got to make sure, SS Excel, if you're in debt, you cannot invest. That's mathematically impossible. So I don't know if you're in debt or not. All I'm saying is this. It's mathematically impossible to invest in anything outside of yourself if you're in debt. That's impossible. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Herbert Walker says a person can have an 800 credit score and be deep in debt. That was me, for sure. SS Excel says, well, if I like IT, I will go more into it. Yeah, okay. I enjoyed IT. I really did. I enjoyed my career. I enjoyed making the money I made. That was cool. But once I got out of debt, I was like, ooh, salary is not a good thing. I thought I was up here. I thought I was cool. Hey, yeah, I'm salary. I'm not hourly. But then once I got out of debt, I could see what salary meant. Salary meant they can work me like a dog and still pay me that set amount. No, I would never allow that again. Quentin says, investment I got introduced to. Invest $500 and add 2 other people. They must add 2 other people. Then all of us will get $3,500 a month. LJ, that's a scam. Yes, that's a scam for sure. That's a scam. Yeah, Will says, I'm not built for coding. Me neither. I'm not a coder. I can't do that kind of stuff. I'm more hands-on, building out environments and infrastructures, virtual servers, loading up operating systems, etc. That's me, right? I don't want to know the code behind loading up virtualization. I just want to, when I load up, like back then, when I load up an ESXi server, there's a little bit of coding, VMware's version of Linux. I had to know a couple of words in there, but other than that, boom, boom, boom. And then it was the GUI face, and then I'm good. Right. And then a little bit of stuff I needed to know to maybe kill something in the background that the GUI wasn't responding or something. I would go into the background, type in some commands and kill whatever I'm trying to kill. SS Excel says, if I go to school, I'd get a business administration degree. Mecca says, you don't need a degree, you just need skills. You need skills for sure. Cosmic says, I did that as well. Got a BS in business and a minor in computer science in the IT field. Now as a project manager. But I did software dev for my first 5 years in the industry. Yeah, you just got to, and I suggest, SS, Pick something that you're going to enjoy. Okay. Just don't do it for the money. Right now, I don't know. Right now is just I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm just saying the times right now are just unsure. Nobody knows the direction where all this stuff is going. Cosmic says, I don't code anymore. I and the translator of business wants to, and they don't speak well to each other, so I translate between the two groups, translators. Ill Will says, don't get it twisted. These young Indian and Chinese kids are coding after school in their incubators. They are getting immersed since day one. So if you go for it, get prepared and apply yourself. Sure better. Dave Sincere says, yes, they called the blessing loom or friends and family blessing when everyone puts oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I did read that, Dave. You're right. $500, one person gets $3,500, straight pyramid scheme. My ex tried to get me to involve. Oh, it's just the craziest nonsense. Tried that last month only because it was her time to get the money. Yep. They're trying to get some of that stimulus money. It only works when you have people constantly contributing. It just sounds like an MLM, multi-level marketing, right? Same kind of design. Hey, come in, tell your friends, tell your family, and then people come in. And that's the MLM. They know when people come in, you're not a natural salesman. So you're going to naturally go to the people you know, your friends, your family. Hold on for a quick second. Let me make sure this AC on. Let's get warm in here. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Back. All right. Turn that off. That thing is loud. All right. Yeah, SS says, oh, he's talking to Cosmic. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions? Q&A Sundays for you guys. Any other questions? If you're new, don't be shy. Ask away. I was thinking, for those of you that are going to break out on your own, this is what I suggest, right? I suggest doing something unlike any other. Anything you do it better than anybody. Do it differently than everybody, right? You cannot be like everybody else. What I do things that the majority wouldn't do, right? What I do seem like is very against the grain, but I'm never wrong because math is always right, right? So that's what keeps me going. But like just telling my story, I've never really heard anybody tell their story. Oh, well, no, there's a few people that tell their story. A few stars that do. I'm excited about it. Very excited about it. And not many people do it. Not many people really comfortable enough to talk about their own personal story, right? Not many people do it. I'm excited to share with the SMD family for sure. Nigel says, funny scene in the movie The Fighter, Mickey Ward's brother tried to run that pyramid scheme on his Asian girlfriend's family. Boy, you guys got to be very careful. Scams come out very strong in times of fear, right? Right now, you got to remember, my business, nobody's really thinking about getting out of debt in a time like this. So it's really the reason why I keep going, because I want people to see who are the people that are going to be still standing when the dust settles. The people that are doing the right thing, not a fly by night thing, not a it's crazy coming out here learning as much as I learned you naturally want to follow what a lot of people are doing on YouTube and stuff like that. But when you do that, you just become them, right? You're just another person doing X. You're another person doing money. You're another person doing finances. You're another person doing velocity banking. You're another person doing infinite. You're just another person doing what's going to make you stand out from all the other people. And that's trust. Don't go after the money first. Go after the trust first, right? And because we live in a very non-trusting world right now, non-trusting. And for somebody to trust you, that's very, very big. That's very big. That's very big. That's very important. Okay. Herbert Walker says people lie, but math don't lie. Sure don't. Math don't lie. Math doesn't lie. All right, we're an hour in. All right, we're gonna keep it going as long as you guys want it to keep going. Okay, let me know. Any other questions? I need to start doing some other things, man, honestly. Cause it's like it's crazy. When I do research on other financial channels, I be like, damn, man. They just be straight lying to them, right? There's some channels, and I'm not gonna say people's channels, but I be like, damn, man, they just straight lying to people. Right in their face. You'd be like, no, that's impossible. You can't do that. But when you're driven by fear and fast money, get out of debt fast, make fast money, they don't realize the key word that's attracting them is fast. That's as fast. That's impossible. You can't. What are you going to, in order to get out of debt fast, you would have to literally go to your boss and say, hey, boss, can you speed up my paychecks? That's the only way you're going to get out of debt fast. Thank you, Nicer. Cosmic says, LJ, what are other things you're thinking? I don't know, Cosmic. I'm trying to figure out other ways to deliver this message. And it's just math, right? It's just math. What my goal is this. I want people to see that it's so simple that they'll be mad at themselves. I want to make this bare bones basic, because when I see other channels put all these numbers on the board and percentage rates and this and that, I'm thinking this is as I see a person do that, right? I'm thinking, you think a person in debt understands any of that stuff on the board? No, that's why they're in the situation they're in today, because they don't understand any of that. So since they're already in financial trouble, you think they're going to somehow magically start understanding that method? No, it's just a different method, same thing, different method. Cosmic says, so true, LJ, about fast money. Most are scams, and the small percentage requires skill. James Nelson says, nothing happens overnight. Sure doesn't. So if you're out here and you're in fear and you got somebody coming to you talking about, hey, man, you want to make some fast money? You stop right there. You go, why are they describing money with an adjective? I mean, why are they saying fast? It's like, why are you telling me how you feel about money? Oh, you believe money's fast? Well, why are you saying that? Get out of debt quick. Quick what? Debt's quick. What are you talking about quick? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't take long to get out of debt. It counts on how much debt you're in, James Nelson says. It counts on how much debt you're in. It counts on what type of job you have. It got many different factors. Welcome, James Nelson. Any questions? I love doing collabs though. I ain't gonna lie. I love collabs. I ain't gonna lie. I do love collabs. I do. Because it's like this. If somebody has me do a collab and they believe in debt, they're pretty much unarmed. They're unarmed. I don't know if they obviously don't know they're unarmed, but they are unarmed. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And each time they come back, hey man, I know your math is right. I know your math is right. Then there's nothing else to talk about if you know my math is right. That's it. Cosmic says, man, LJ, you did end up set up your own camera game. Your camera game, LJ? You did indeed say, oh, yeah, I know I got this camera up here. I just haven't used it in a while. Because the one thing, my camera that I have that can go higher definition, the app I use, this StreamYard, it only goes to 720p, right? And that's what my laptop camera is. So it's almost a waste to use my DSLR camera, unless I go straight to YouTube, and then YouTube I can go to 1080p, so which is nice. And this is just my laptop camera, Cosmic. It's not anything else. I just got a lot of good light, right? I just got a lot of good light around. I got the lights on in the room, then I got this ring light, so it's really about good lighting. But right now it's not the 1080p. This is just the regular laptop camera. Any other questions? Any other questions? Let me put the link to my members only group. But yeah, I gotta figure out other ways to get people to understand how simple this is and how I'm different than a lot of other financial people. Okay. One second here. Let me get this link. Copy. There's the link to the private group. This election season is going to be crazy. Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen with that. Nice says, be careful showing up in the bologna food courts with your steaks, LJ. I know. Nice, you be killing me, man. I love Nice's analogy. She got some very good. She could write a story talking about something, and a person wouldn't even know the stories about them. The way she writes stuff. That's just the way she has that. That's pretty amazing. That was funny. Any questions? Oh, it's cloudy now. Crap. Sun's gone. Any questions? Any financial questions? If you're scared, what am I going to do? What happens when the stimulus, or what happens when the did they extend the unemployment? I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with that lately. I haven't been keeping up with that at all. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, remember, we're only going to go as long as you guys have questions. Today is about you guys. I don't want to make the whole thing about me. Talking about different subjects. Talk a lot, man. I think what I'm gonna do, man, because when we come on here and do these, it's pretty much the same thing. I think I'm gonna start pushing harder for collaboration. So I'm gonna start reaching out to some people on YouTube and see what they're doing, see what they're looking for, just to get more collabs. I just want to get more, just meet more people, I guess. All right. Any other questions? We're gonna go ahead and cut out of here. If there's no more questions, let me make sure you guys are not talking over here. Maybe I'm not there. Let me see and make sure you on YouTube. Hello. Okay. All right. Herbert Walker says, LJ, do you think housing rent is going to go down? I say, to me, I say it has no choice. It has. If nobody has no jobs, if the majority of people are out of work, that means they have no money to pay rent. So I don't know what, and Cosmic and I were talking about this. It definitely counts on location. I was asking that question of Cosmic, and she described the location where she has her properties, what she's connected to, and she's pretty much made herself economy proof by buying next to hospitals, and I believe she said colleges or something like that. And that's pretty much economy proof. We're always going to have hospitals, right? That's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter how bad the economy is. The hospital's not going to close down or run out of funding. That's not going to happen. And if you have places there for doctors and nurses and staff members that need to live close, they're going to pay the landlords their money. All right. So it counts on, but on a general thing, I just follow the people, millions of people out of work. That means millions of people have no jobs, and that means millions of people cannot pay their rent or their mortgage. So that's, Cosmic says, for a little bit, but when people lose their homes, rents will go, oh yeah. Yeah, Cosmic got me there. You're right. Rent's going to go up because people are going to lose their homes. But they only can go up so much though, Cosmic, because there's no jobs. They barely have jobs to pay rent. So they're not going to be able to. Now, if this wasn't a pandemic, remember, this is unlike anything any of us in this room have ever experienced, a worldwide pandemic. Okay. So nobody can really predict what's going to go on. Okay. Davidson says, I think almost everything is going to go down. I think so too. I agree, Dave. It has to go down. It has no choice. Because Cosmic says, because there will be a higher demand with low supply. Dave says, my leasing manager has been super nice, like Caps, been super nice to the residents who have their have never exhibited problems. Right, exactly. Lauren says, do you remember what the first piece of the financial puzzle you realized after getting out of debt? I realized after my first check, after I paid off my last debt, after I received my first check, and it wasn't going out anywhere, right? I had to go through a phase of, did I forget something? Why do I have so much money in my account? This is crazy, right? Why do I have so much money in my account? Did I forget to pay something? Am I late on something? What did I forget? What did I forget? What did I forget? And then I took a step back and said, I don't have anything to pay. This is my money. That's crazy. That's when it really started to come together. I just pieces stuff, and I started reducing my expenses at the same time I was getting out of debt. And I was like, damn, reducing my expenses also gives me more money at the same time of working. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. It was amazing, man. And it's still, and remember, Lauren, and I want to tell you something, man. I'm like 5-6 years out being debt free. The pieces to the puzzle are still coming. And you remember, there are pieces to the puzzle. There are also pieces to the puzzle coming from other people, right? I listen to Cosmic. She gives me her pieces. I hear Herbert Walker tell me his story. I hear Hyphy tell me his story. And all these pieces start to come together, learning different pieces, right? And I believe when I tell my story tomorrow, it's going to help. It's going to be a big piece of the financial puzzle for people that are still trapped in the debt matrix, and they don't know which way to go and why. This is going to help them. All right. My personal story is going to help a lot of people. Cosmic says, for multi-unit apartments, they will be more impacted rent-wise, but there is a shortage, of houses for rent. So I'm talking houses to rent. So I'm talking houses to rent will go down for a little bit, then go back. Apartment complex rent will go down and stay down longer. Oh, okay. Apartment complex. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for clearing that part up, Cosmic, because we are lumping in apartment complexes and houses and duplexes, right? These are very different things, but everybody's going to be affected, period. Everybody's going to be affected. Davidson says, that is crazy. I did the same after I stopped owing CC debt, credit card debt. I thought I missed a payment or on something. I thought I forgot to pay insurance, to pay my gas, electric. I was shell shocked. Yeah, you got it. And Lauren, when you get out of debt, these things are going to just, that's when I knew. And then once I realized I didn't have to pay anything, I took a step back. I was like, wow, you mean I don't have to work overtime no more? No, you sure don't. No, you have to work overtime no more. Sure don't. I don't have to take that kind of crap at work. No. It just keeps coming more and more pieces. When you're in debt, when you're in debt, society makes you believe that there are levels. But when you get on the north side of zero, you will understand everybody's on the same level. It's just different pieces to the puzzle. And you need other people to bring these pieces together. You need them. But first, you must talk the right language. First, the people that you meet on the north side of zero, they must know that you got your basic foundation solid. What that means is that you're not in debt and you 100% trust mathematics with your money. This is a language. This is the language that cannot be. If you've been in debt all your life, you have no idea the language of debt-free even exists. So you don't know what to say. You don't know how to say it. You believe if you dress a certain way, the majority of people in debt, they believe rich is by the way you look, what kind of car you drive, how your hair is styled, right? What kind of pants you're wearing, if you're wearing Gucci or, they believe that that's how rich is perceived. And that has nothing to do with nothing. Nothing. That has nothing to do with nothing. How you see somebody dressed, it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, you got to look presentable to people. If you want them to come to you, you want them to buy from you, all that kind of stuff, you got to look presentable. But if they're basing your business on if you're wearing a Versace shirt or not, whatever. Dave Sincere says, I talked to my sister yesterday. She paid all her credit card debt off last month, and she told me she could feel her blood pressure has gone down since. I told her, I told you. Exactly. People in debt don't realize they carry around this pressure every single day, and they don't even know it. They believe it's normal. If you're a person right now that says, hey, everybody has debt, debt's just part of life, I promise you, you're carrying around a pressure on your forehead, causing high blood pressure that you don't even have to have. Don't even have to have it. You're choosing. Cosmo says, in my market, they are offering landlords $1,000 bonus to accept Section 8. The shortage is that severe in my area. Just sent that out for. And if I was a landlord, that's government money. So that's guaranteed money. All right, that's guaranteed money. Any questions? Any other questions? Like I said, I got to figure out something else, because I don't know, be honestly, I'm getting bored. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm getting bored. I got to find something new. Now, when I say something new, I'm saying something new with the channel to keep you guys interested, to keep myself interested, really, right? It's been fun, but I gotta figure out something, and it's gonna be something on YouTube. I'm not gonna be coming up with any skits or anything like that. I just gotta just keep talking about current events, maybe. I don't know. Any questions? If you're new to the channel, don't be shy. I got to figure out a way, because I want people to understand how easy this is. This is so easy. You don't really have to be good at money. You just need to be good. You just need to know. You don't even have to be good at math. You just need to know what numbers to put in your calculator. That's it. You don't need to know anything. You did not that much mathematics. You go, okay, well, if I finance that car and you got your calculator open, you're like, if I finance it for 72 months, 84 months, I'm going to be paying that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's all. Nothing fancy. Herbert Walker says, LJ, people are living in a system that having debt is normal. And Herbert, and I got to tell you, Herbert, it must be that way. I'm helping people out of debt, but I am fully aware that our economic system is run on debt. So the majority must remain in debt. They must remain that way. Okay, they must remain in debt. It's just part of life. That people must continue to finance stoves, washer and dryers, TVs, cars, phones, shoes, shirts. I'm just looking around. Laptops, tables, big expensive grills, refrigerators, dishwashers. They must continue to believe. And when they finance these things, right, they also must believe that they got it on sale. Hey, man, that's a nice washer and dryer. They'll say, hey, I got it on sale. And what do you mean? Oh, I got 0% financing for this. Okay, whatever. That's all I need to know. You didn't get it on sale, but they must believe that they got it on sale. Nobody gets a financed item on sale. Nobody. There's only one way to buy a house, and that's with cash. That's the only way you can buy a house. You cannot buy a house any other way. Anything outside of buying with cash, that's called financing. Okay? So just learn, if you're new to the channel, learn to use the correct words. This will help you. Like say like you have a house now, right? And you've been walking around calling yourself a homeowner while having a mortgage. When somebody asks you, are you a homeowner? You say, no, I'm still in the process of buying it. And this is for you. This will help break the cycle, okay? Dave Sincere says, my cousin in New York call that mailbox money. Call what mailbox money? I'm not sure what you're saying about it. When you have rental properties with good tenants. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. Have you heard that, Cosmic? I never heard that. Well, I don't have no tenants. So Dave Sincere says, I've been reaching out to the young members of my family just to gauge their mindset. If I feel they want to learn and take the initiative, I do what I can to help. If not, I just let them be. Yeah, me too. I'm the same way. But it's amazing when they grasp it and they help someone else. I know that is amazing. Hyphy says, financed it. Financed this. You didn't get a deal. You got dealt. You sure did. You got dealt. Sure did. But imagine this, Hyphy. Somebody goes and get a car. Let me just not say somebody. It was me. It was me. All right. I remember going to get a car. I got this car brand new. I got a 2000 Tahoe Limited. A 2000 Tahoe Limited 4-door. Let me go look this up. 1 second. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to stop using other people. I'm going to use myself. Okay. 2000. Okay, let me see what that thing looked like. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. God damn. I've got that thing brand new. Brand new. Let me get a good shot of it. Is that a good shot? It almost looks like my truck now because it's just 5 years newer than. All right, let me get this. Here it is. Let's do this. Oh, no, that's not it. All right. Oh, that's why. 1 second. Catching up. All right, so right here, I got this back in that year, 2000. I got this thing brand new and it was under a lease, right? Brand spanking new, brand new. 2000 Tahoe Limited. I'm sure I was paying 4 something, 5, whatever, right? And I remember driving that thing around talking about I got it on sale. Brand spanking new. 2000 Tahoe Limited. Crazy. Cosmic says, yeah, I have mailbox money. I don't got no mailbox money. Cosmic says, I forgot about the rent for this month, but it just appears. Dave says, I talked to my sister and she told me she had that debt and credit talk with her husband. I think this was their first time since being married talking about finances on this level. My sister told me she had no idea what her husband's credit score was and what wow, that's crazy, what he saved. Cosmic says mailbox money is an easy asset. Mailbox money is any asset that just pays you consistently over time, like dividends and rent checks. Hyphy says, LJ just gave y'all a sneak peek of what's in store for tomorrow evening's stream. Don't miss it. Yeah, it's gonna, and you know what's crazy, Hyphy? Hyphy already know. Hyphy already know. I can already tell. Hyphy already knows. But it's gonna be good. I've been meaning, like I said, I've been meaning to talk to. I think it's going to help a lot of people. I think my story is going to help a lot of people. It really is. Dave says, my sister and her husband been married for almost 10 years. And wow, 10 years. And never sat down and had serious talk about finances. She says she's been telling him everything I've been telling her. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was a big boy. Big wrong move too, Dave. That was a wrong move. I think about 2 years, I was begging him to take that thing back. I was like, please take that thing back. Herbert Walker says, LJ, would you stay in an Airbnb property if you were going out of town or a hotel? I've never really, no, I did once. I stayed I'm not really I have to do my research on Airbnbs, but I'm really nervous about Airbnbs because I think, this is just me, I'm not saying everybody, but the size of cameras, they're like pinholes. You could set up pinhole cameras, pinhole, right? Now, what if somebody has set that up in their Airbnbs and they're making money on the videos on the black market? I'm not saying that they can't do the same thing in hotels, but I don't know. I don't know, man. But that's crazy, Dave. 10 years? Imagine living with your mate and not knowing, having those kind of talks. Yeah, man. Like, I asked my girlfriend what was I had to see her credit report first before I got with her, right? This being on the same page from the very beginning, when you're not in debt, you're going to be on the same page because both of you already know what it takes to not be in debt, and you're not just going to do crazy things to become back in debt. So Dave Sincere says, one of my good friends at NYC says staying in an Airbnb now can be the move. He says he can find many in NYC for $30 to $65 a night. Wow. Oh, I see why you're saying that. Oh, because of the time. Because the majority of people are in trouble that own those Airbnbs. You're right. You're right, Dave. Right now would be an excellent time to get an Airbnb because they're begging for people to be in there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine people with those timeshares? Ooh, they got to be crying. Cosmic says Airbnbs are cheap because they couldn't book. Yep, they're gonna be real cheap. You're right, Dave. That's an awesome, man. Yeah, I need to plan something for me and my woman. Get out of town for a couple of days. Cosmic says, so they need cash flow now to pay those operating expenses. They sure do. I'd stay in an Airbnb. I sure would. I mean, the person would have to show me. I mean, right now, to get people to go in their Airbnb, they have to really put out some work to say, hey, we're clean. We've cleaned everything. Come see it. You can check it out. You don't have to do this. You don't have to put in deposit. You can come and da-da-da-da. They have to do all that. And it's got to be cheap, right? Because they can't even make their mortgage payments. Excellent idea. Excellent idea. Cosmic says, I wouldn't because they may not clean it as well as hotels, which have more strict cleaning standards by law. Yeah, but like I said, Cosmic, if they want some money, they're gonna go, they should be going well and over and beyond to let people know that they have cleaned. Because if I was in trouble right now, that's what I would do. I would probably record myself cleaning my Airbnb, right? Cleaning it so they can see it. Click on this video so you can see how I clean this Airbnb. They click on it so they become more comfortable, and then they come in, you know. Jason Sears says there's an article where this lady was crying because she overextended herself with Airbnb, and because no volume rentals, she was behind in all her properties, and she's on the cusp of losing them all. Yep. I keep telling you guys, we're going to see the biggest housing market crash in U.S. history. Unless, because remember, in that video yesterday with the president, remember, he said he's going to help people and help businesses. What does that mean? Money. That means money. That's the only way the president can help people and businesses. Money. It's either going to be the biggest crash. I say like this, okay? I don't go past the summer, but something has to stop this crash because it's going to hurt everybody. I don't care who you are, it's going to hurt everybody. This is business and personal. It's going to be the biggest crash. So I don't believe that, and this is my opinion, I really don't go that far, but I don't believe the president will allow that to happen on his watch, right? Because they're going to blame it on him. Oh my God, the president allowed the biggest U.S. housing business personal crash in history on his watch. I don't think he's going to allow that. Our president has too much ego to let that happen, right? When he gets out of office, he's going to make sure his term he did something, right? It's just the way it is. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. Cosmo says, but yeah, if they can show evidence of cleaning, then yeah, I would book it. And see, that's what I'm saying, Cosmic. I would make a video of me cleaning, right? Go over and beyond what everybody else is doing, right? Not just say, hey, look, I cleaned my place. Look at the pictures. No, here's the video of me cleaning. Because if they see you, the owner, or just if they see, or just maybe you hired a company to do it. Anyway, I'm just saying a video of it being cleaned, okay? And that's the way it is after everybody leaves. It just makes people more comfortable to do it, okay? What's up, Ricky? Welcome. Any questions? Any other questions? We're about an hour and 37 minutes in. These are great questions. I like that. If you're new to the channel, don't be shy. If you're a new subscriber, I welcome you because my subscribers did just shoot up like big time. So welcome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the all notifications button, that little bell, that little ding, click, click, you know. Trump has the ego of someone with that everyone gets a trophy mentality. He's gonna, you know, one thing about Trump, he doesn't bluff, right? If he says he's going to do something, he does it, period. Rather how people feel about what he's doing, I'm just saying in general. If he says, hey, I'm going to do this, that's what's going to happen. So when he said he's putting out thousands, this is his words, thousands and thousands of thousands of military troops. Okay. I don't think he's bluffing. All right. They're sitting in the background somewhere. Okay. They're just waiting. They're just waiting to hear the word. That's it. They're just waiting for the order. Dave Sincere says, the sad thing is the U.S. government think most people are almost good now. They are out in the streets protesting, rioting. The stock market is good. Unemployment numbers support it. So they feel it's no rush. The government, well, I don't know about the government, but the government has to know whatever's going on right now is an illusion, right? The stock market increasing, you see it going up, that's not real. That's an illusion. Jobs are coming back, and then no, that's an illusion. That's an illusion. That's not true. Cosmic says, I told you, Dave, Won't hold your breath for the second stimulus check. We need to create our own stimulus by managing what we have. No, Cosmic, I think it has to happen. I think a second round of stimulus money has to come, because if they don't, you see the climate of the United States right now. That's with, you got to remember, that's with unemployment money, Cosmic. That is with unemployment money still going out. What happens when the unemployment money and the extra food stamps stop? Then what? And then when they say, okay, we ain't got no money, where's the job so I can support myself? No jobs either. Sorry. What you think they're going to do? If they don't get money or jobs to support themselves, crime will go up. Crime will go through the roof. I agree, Dave. Second stimulus must happen. And I think it's going to be bigger than it, not even, but also, Dave, the amount of money that's going to be needed to save the economy, another $1,200 check is not going to save. This is my prediction, okay? They're going to give us enough money that the slaves, people in debt, will be paying back for the next 100 years until the next economy change, to the next economy reset. Right now, we're having an economy reset right now. That's what it is. Okay, we're just resetting. It's a new economy. This is how it happens. Then they give out enough money that's going to allow the slaves to pay back for another 100 years until the next global economy reset. Not just the United States. I'm talking globally. The global one happens every 100 years. Okay, I kind of been between 70 and 100 years. And listen, only a pandemic can reset the world economy. Only. Nothing else can. Nothing. Not even war can reset the world economy. Okay, not even war. Dave says the U.S. government is dragging. I don't think they're dragging their feet. I just think they just know how to move the herd, right? They just know how to move the herd. They know they're in debt. Now, when I say they, I'm just saying they because the government, because people believe the government is some sort of different entity. People talk about the government like space aliens are working there or something. That kind of stuff doesn't make sense to me. Those are our family members working in the government. All right. It's just the government is us. They're not some separate entity. So you just watch the majority. Okay, whatever. Okay, the majority of people are going to do this because of that. It's just cause and effect. That's it. Nothing really. James Nelson says, I don't believe those government numbers. I don't pay attention to any numbers. I don't pay attention. Only thing I pay attention to are the majority of people. What are they going to do? What would they do in certain situations? That's all I think about. Herbert Walker says, I've gone from an XL shirt to a large shirt since retirement. Get to north of zero. Health is wealth. Man, that's congratulations, Herbert. Congratulations. Health is wealth. Dave Sincere says they felt they were too liberating with the $600 extra a week payment because it's encouraging people not to work. Yeah. It's two ways to look at that, Dave. If you put out that extra money, right? People are they don't really understand that they are announcing when they say, hey, man, I'm making more money sitting at home. They're telling the world how much money they make and how they're managing their finances. If they're happy with, if they say things like, I'm making more money sitting at home, that just tells me how much money they were making not sitting at home, right? And that's a lot of people. A lot of people. Cosmic says, I'm just saying focus on your finances. Some people haven't even gotten the first check. Oh, wow. So don't hold your breath. They may do a second check right before the election to keep the masses at ease. See what you're saying, Cosmic? You're right. Oh my God, he saved us. Which president's going to save us? Dave Sincere says, we will truly find out the results of the pandemic starting in August. July 31st is when the extra $600 will stop. And moratoriums, would you say moratoriums of people. Stop using those big words, Dave. Shoot. Not to say those words. People not being able to be evicted will be lifted. I think here, I was talking to the manager or the owner of these buildings we live in, right? He was telling me here in South Carolina, they lifted that in, was it June? I think he said it was just lifted here. Herbert Walker says, thanks, LJ. You've inspired me to get in shape. I appreciate that, man. I think that's just the only way to live. I mean, that's the only way we're gonna walk this earth. And money, if you're in a hospital bed, it won't matter how much you could have millions in the bank. If you can't walk or function, what good is the money in the bank? It means absolutely nothing. So keep it up, man. I know you've been coming on. I've been seeing you on the Discord server telling me about your steps. And I'm like, man, consistency. He is dead serious. Okay. Dave says, that's a good point, Cosme. Oh, he's talking to Cosme. I would not put it past current administration to do something like that. Give people some stimulus right before election. I wouldn't put it past that. Moratorium. Okay. All right. Is what I meant to type. Any other questions? So we're going to go, we're at 1 hour and 46 minutes. We'll go 2 hours. So we got about 14 minutes. And then we're going to go call it a day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. But again, I might go on, if O'Shea reaches out to me today, I'll let you guys know, and I will put that link and stuff inside of the Discord server. All right. And I will post this stuff if you guys want to join. But stay tuned tomorrow, Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, where LJ Young is going to tell his whole biography, which I've pretty much just ran through myself, told my woman knows. A couple other people know my life story, but I'm happy that people want to know it. Okay. Just that alone, just somebody that wants to hear my story, right? So I appreciate it. Oh, equals a legal authorization to postpone payment. I know in Seattle, they stopped unemployment like a couple of weeks because there's a lot of fraud going on, right? A lot of fraud. Any other questions? What do you guys want to see from me? Okay, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do to enhance this channel more? I need some more ideas, because it's really it starts to get actually pretty boring, right? But I can't stop helping people. That's not going to stop. I'm still continue to keep doing what I'm doing. What else can we do to, just keep people interested? I want to help people understand that this is just more than a program. I was talking to NC Biggs. And he told me this is stuff like this. I like getting. Let me turn this. I keep going opposite. Sorry, guys. He said, LJ, your thing is more than a program. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. And that's exactly how I feel about it. It's a lifestyle change. So what can I do to help people understand that, right? Understand that it's more than just a program, right? Herbert Walker says, if you have a guest, you guys got to let me know. I've been reaching out. Who SMD family members who wants to come on here? We got to schedule it up. We can talk more in the Discord server. You don't have to let me know now, but who's next after me, right? More interviews. Okay. Herbert Walker says. ST Supreme says more. ST Supreme says, example of people falling into debt traps. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. I guess, more people falling into debt traps. That would have to come from the people themselves, right? Like they might be in some trouble. Say like there are people, well, I know there are people out there. There are people out there that have fallen into some kind of financial traps and they don't really know how they got there. And that would be awesome for somebody to come on and say, hey, LJ, this is my situation. I cannot figure out how that happened. And for me to explain it to them step by step on how that happened would be awesome. That would be really awesome. What happened? How'd I get here? I want to get to people like, I want to talk to people that have had student loans for like 20 years, right? But then when I say, hey, how long did you go to college for? And they say 4. And I say, well, why would you keep your student loans for 20? You know, I want that to click in people's minds and be like, damn, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Why? Or I want to get across some people, like people are in debt. Let's put it this way. People that are in debt, they're in debt because they don't understand money. So when they come across somebody that tells them to invest while having student loans, because these people out here now that try to take people's money when they say, hey, man, invest over here. You know, don't worry about the student loans because it's only 6%. And then you can earn money in the stock market and you can take this and that. I want you to, when they're done shooting that spiel to you, I want you to say to them, hey, but I've had my student loans for 15 years. What type of investment is going to give me a return that's going to pay these 15-year-old student loan debts off, right? It's just because they're so concentrated on the interest rate, but what people in debt don't understand that you're in trouble not because of interest rate, you're in trouble because you don't understand money. Oh, okay. All right, let me check out. Oh, thank you, ST Supreme. Okay, I like that. ST Supreme sent me an article in Forbes. Student loan borrowers in CARES Act forbearance can't buy or refi homes. I got to read that. I'll check that out. And you know what? Just by the title, ST Supreme, let me just put it this way. People in student loan debt, the majority of them don't believe that they'll ever pay off their student loans, right? So they're looking for something. People in student loan debt are always looking for something that's going to relieve them from the student loan debt. Things like this are for those types of people, right? Anything that will relieve them of the student loan debt, they're going to latch onto. They're going to like, oh my God, this is going to save us. We might not have to pay it back. What are they doing? I cross my fingers. I hope. Let me tell you something right now. Okay. I'm going to be straight up with you. If you are in student loan debt, they're never, ever, 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 ever going to release you of that student loan debt. That's the new slavery. That's why they give out that money so freely. Why do you think they give it out so freely? Because that's the new slavery. The only way you're going to get out of student loan debt is if you pay it off. That's it. There's no other way. Unless, well, if you have a house with some equity, right? I'm gonna give you a little hint and I'm gonna let you figure it out. If you got some questions, you can ask me, okay? Right now in a worldwide pandemic, if you have a house and you have some equity, I would suggest refinancing your house and paying off your student loans right now. Right now. Right now. Let's put it this way. If I could go back, if I was in debt during this pandemic and I had a house with some equity in it, this is what I would do. I would refinance my house and then I would go straight to the bank and says, I want it all in cash. Now, I don't know if they'll let you do that. I'm just saying. I would say, I want it all in cash. You got a line of credit? Yeah, I want it in cash. I'll be there to pick it up. I would take that money and I would pay off my student loan debt. Sure would. Pay it off. Pay it off right now. And people are like, hey, LJ, what if I lost my job and lost this and that? Okay, well, say like you lose your house, you lose your job, you lose everything. Then you go file Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And guess what? Everything's gone. Everything's gone. Not the cash, but your student loans are. Well, you would have to claim that cash, whatever. Yeah, you would have to say it. Yeah. Do it all legal. I'm just saying, I'm not going to tell you to do anything illegal. Okay. Everything I say is legal, right? But I would refinance my house and pay off my student loans. Sure would. I like the tax talk. That's something I'm not too knowledgeable about. I've been reading and researching this guy named Sandy Botkin. Dude is like a tax connoisseur. And I'm not even saying I'm a tax person, Dave. I'm a basic, look at me as a person that can teach you how to take advantage of the taxes as a regular employee, right? Do it. You can do certain things to prepare you for when you're in the business. Because when you get on the business side, things are taxed very differently, right? You can practice right now with your personal finances as an employee. You can take advantage of the 401k. You could take advantage of HSA. These are just basic things. You don't need to be a tax master to do any of that. You just do this. You say, I'm going to do this. And then you go, I teach a person how to pick the right tax person, the right CPA. You ask to see the personal credit report first, because you don't want to hire a tax person to do your taxes who's in IRS trouble. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you think about it? Why would you hire a tax person that's in IRS trouble? That doesn't make sense. I would never hire a person like that, right? How are you going to do that? You need to see their entire credit report to just see that, right? Herbert Walker says SMD family members can share their story. Quite a few have already shared their stories. Herbert was good. I like it. Me and Herbert, we kind of vibe. That was good. That was cool. Dave Sincere says you can pull topics from modern day economy and pick it apart, pretty much like how we're doing now. Okay. Let me see this. Okay. While we're at it, let's do a run through. Okay. I'm gonna take what ST just sent me. All right, which one did he send that to? Okay, hold up. Let me open this up. 1 second, you guys. We're going to do this right now. Gmail. I thought I already had that. Oh, I closed it. That's what I did. Yeah. 1 second. Things go really slow when I have a video going. 1 second here. So let's pick this one apart that ST just sent me while we're at it. It's Q&A Sunday, so we're going to do it right now. Oh, you maggot. Pause on the site. Refresh. All right, here we go. We're going to do this. Let me get this window smaller, and then I'm going to bring it up. 1 second, you guys. All right. All right, so let me do this. I'm going to read this. I got a lot of stuff open here. It's really starting to bother me here. All right, so we're going to read through this together. Okay, what are you doing that for? Okay. All right, the title of this is Student Loan Borrowers in CARES Act Forbearance Can't Buy or Refi Homes. Okay, their student loans are in forbearance. Now I'm going to read through this slowly, and I'm going to be reading slowly because I'm trying to translate what they're really trying to say, okay? Bride Lacey, an attorney in Florida, they always like to throw out people's titles first, so I guess it's for credibility, all right? Was ready to purchase a home. An attorney in Florida was ready to purchase a home, but it's already going bad. I can already tell where this is going already. She's an attorney, right? She contacted her lender to get pre-approved for a mortgage, but there was a problem. Her federal student loans were in automatic forbearance due to the CARES Act. And first question I would have for Bree, her name is Bree, not Bride, Bree. I would say, how long have you been an attorney and how long have you been out of college? That's my first question to Bree. How long you been out of college? What year did you graduate? Oh, really? 10 years ago? Why are you having student loans? You shouldn't. First of all, don't worry about the CARES Act. Don't be buying no house right now. Okay. And having student loan payments due was unacceptable to her mortgage lender. So actually, her being denied is a good thing. That's the bank's way of saying to Bree, you're not ready for a house. Okay, being denied for a mortgage is the bank's way of saying you're not ready. But it's totally up to you to blame. If you want to blame it on something else, go right ahead. Lacey explained, I don't have a billed amount, even though I have documentation that says that my monthly student loan payment is under an income. Oh my God. She's a lawyer into the income-driven repayment plan that you're going to be paying on your student loans for the next 10 years of your life. Okay, that's already bad news right there. Under income, I was not in forbearance. The underwriter of the mortgage determined my monthly student loan payment. As a result, the mortgage lender calculated that Lacey's student loan payment is hundreds of dollars higher than what it actually would be if she was not in. Oh my goodness, it's the stupidest nonsense right there. I would tell Bree, you need to pay off your student loans. Don't worry about a house. That's the problem. It's not that it's in forbearance. It's that you've been keeping your student loans for 10, 15, 20 years. I'm quite bummed, she said. Why are you bummed? She said that she can either choose to pay higher payments than she needs to right now under the terms of the CARES Act just to be qualified for the mortgage, or she may have to wait and potentially miss out on some of the lowest mortgage interest rates that have seen in years. And this is a lawyer talking. See what I'm saying? This kind of stuff, man. Those people like that, they need my help so bad, because they're not really hearing what she's saying. Oh man, I have a choice. No, you don't. You don't have a choice. But she's already thinking, I can choose to pay more money. If you choose to pay more money for a thing than what it's worth, you choose to. The bank will be happy to help you. Let's see. Let's go on here. It says, what exactly is going on here? We're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. That's what's happening right here. So the reason why the rates are good right now, because they want to lock those people in at the housing market prices right now. So when the housing market does a tank, they're going to be locked into the housing market prices of today. The CARES Act administrative forbearance can be both a blessing and a curse, Gill said. For those who need the reprieve, it can be an opportunity to save or short-term financial savior. For home buyers, though, it can have disastrous consequences for mortgage loan eligibility. That makes no sense. Okay, come on. Goodness gracious. Hold up, it's hesitant. Okay. Gill explained most lenders will use the actual monthly student loan obligation in mortgage underwriting calculations unless that number is zero. When it's zero, lending standards assume a monthly payment of 1% of the loan balance. For those carrying high student loan balances, this throws off the math. If you're keeping your student loans for 10, 15 years, they don't understand any of that. None of that means anything when you have a 10-year-old student loan. None of that. She's in a student loan repayment plan, so she's locked into a 10-year. Okay. Gill noted that the home buyer with an income of $70,000 and no debt should be able to qualify for monthly housing expenses of about, okay, they have no debt. Of course they can. All right. That's up to a $350,000 mortgage. If she had $150,000 of student loan debt and was using a payment plan, her student loan payment would be around $430. That's not enough to impact her maximum mortgage loan amount, assuming she has no, oh my goodness. She has other debts. If she has a 10-year-old student loan, she has other debts, I promise you. Gill explained, however, that this same situation is thrown out. Gill explained, however, that this same situation is thrown out of balance during the CARES Act forbearance period. Even though her monthly loan obligation is less, zero, in fact, during the, because it's in forbearance, okay, whatever. The CARES Act forbearance, mortgage lenders will treat her as a greater risk. Of course they will. She got a 10-year-old student loan, of course, using the 1% rule. The bank understands that this person, this lady, Bree, is trying to get a loan and she's in debt. She has no money and she wants to get a loan. If she hasn't paid, check this out, if she hasn't paid a student loan off in 10, 15 years, they're not really saying how long it was. She's not going to pay a house off in 30. Okay. So they're going to do her accordingly. Okay. Using the 1% rule. Okay. Whatever that is. Mortgage underwriters will assume that her monthly student loan payment. Okay. They're assuming, see the words they're using, assume $1,500 as a damn $1,500 student loan payment. God damn. As a result, she may now only qualify for the maximum monthly housing payment of $600 at the most. That's a mortgage of $100. Okay, whatever. What can student loan borrowers do to get mortgage approval? Pay off your student loans. For many student loan borrowers, options are fairly limited in these circumstances. Borrowers may be faced with a difficult choice to either opt out of the CARES solely to get mortgage approval or waiting until the forbearance ends, at which point interest rates would be higher. No, that would be, they're going to be. Lacey tried a different approach and opted to work directly with her mortgage lender to push them to make an exception for her case. She's begging them to put her in debt with these student loans. She's begging them. She's like, please, I know I got these student loans, man, but I really want more debt. Her initial experience with the lender was terrible, as she had to work with multiple agents and supervisors, some of whom did not seem to understand the nature of her difficulties. Yes, they do. She's in debt. She's broke. They're like, hell no, we don't want to give you no money. Why? You don't even know you're in debt. Why would we give you some more money? Lacey wound up sending her mortgage lender a copy of her last student loan bill prior to the forbearance, a statement showing her progress toward loan forgiveness. And by the way, 99% last year, I think it was this year or last year, 99% of people got denied on student loan forgiveness, by the way. 99% of the people got denied. And can you imagine going 10 years and at the end of 10 years, they deny you? Whew. And a letter from her student loan service provider explaining how the CARES Act forbearance works. She also sent over, damn, she's just putting in this work. She wants this debt bad. She also sent over her most recent student loan monthly payment schedule that confirms her monthly billed payments through 2021 after the CARES Act forbearance ends. Finally, Lacey reviewed good news. She was approved for the mortgage. I guarantee you it was a FHA mortgage, guaranteed. You better believe she got approved for a mortgage, but I bet you it's a FHA mortgage because she has no money to get a traditional mortgage. She has no money. However, her lender explained that once she moves forward with a home purchase, her lender will have to submit all of her paperwork to the underwriter, who will then make a final determination. I feel confident that with both my loan payment schedule and my latest proof of anticipation loan forgiveness, Lacey said, but this entire process, she noticed, was exhausting. Yeah, because you're in debt, Lacey. You're begging for debt. I mean, she is begging. Do you see why the banks do this to people? This is why they do slaves so bad. They just be kicking slaves while they're on the ground, just kicking them. The chains be rattling. Ching, ching, kick. Why are you kicking me? Kicking because you keep asking for it, slave. Mm, mm, mm. Thank you, ST. Appreciate it, man. Wow. NC Big says, I think you covering more articles also. I'll get you that video on chapter 7. Okay, yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm listening to you guys. Trust me. You guys are going to help me do this. Cosmic says, remember CJ said, as a banker, student loans are a killer for mortgages, so I'm not surprised that banks are tightening up. Dave says, I was reading Amex website earlier. In May 2020, they stopped doing balance transfers on their business credit cards. It made sense. People were doing it. You better believe they are. They're going to cut all that. All that stops. Dave says transfer from personal credit card to business because business cards don't report to. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. NC Big says for a new person, maybe give some ideas on how to purchase a car. Okay. What is that one? You said EIDL loan. What is that, Cosmic? I don't know what that is. Cosmic says, that's why in 2021, 22, I'll be getting a house from people like this. Yes, you will, Cosmic. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Cosmic Wisdom says, the funny thing is when interest rates go down, home prices go up. When interest rates increase, homes go down. To most cases, never understood why people focus on rates so much. Mathematically, it's a wash. I know, they just because they don't understand. You see in that article, she was begging to be in debt. She was, why are you guys turning me down? Well, I don't understand. Your loans are in forbearance. How long you been out of college? Yeah, 10 years? Yeah, and your loans are in forbearance and you're a lawyer? You still don't know. Okay, well, you still won't accept that you cannot afford a home. All right, give her an FHA mortgage. Yeah, give her FHA. Yes, give her one. Mm-hmm. Because a person like that begging for debt, she's not going to understand what PMI is. She's not going to know the difference between mortgages. She's not. The banks already know that. CARES Act is only temporary. Yeah, sure is. They're begging for it. Geez, $1,500 student loan. That's a mortgage. That's crazy. Crazy. She's pleading and begging for more. I mean, she's literally begging. Please, please put me in more debt. Please, why are you denying me? You see my student loans are in forbearance. I'm paying zero on them. The bank is like, yeah, we know, but eventually you're gonna have to. What are you talking about? What are you talking? You're gonna have to pay for those student loans. When you're gonna you haven't paid, check this out. If the bank could say this, you haven't paid on your student loans in 10 years. And they're in forbearance, right? You think after we give you a loan for a house and then you have a mortgage payment you don't have a mortgage payment right now. You're going to get a mortgage payment. And then when you get the house and then you're going to pay on your student loans. No, you're not. No, you're not. It will be fine. Yeah, sure. It'll be fine. Here's your loan. Sign here. NC Big says, I already found them. I send them if you want to look through them. Are you talking to me, NC Biggs? Gabriel says, what did I miss, guys? I was gone. Oh, yeah. You was gone, buddy. Lo siento. Mi amigo. God, just you see articles like that. And thank you, Esther. I love reading articles like that for you guys. I love reading it slowly so I can translate to you guys what it's really saying, what she's saying. And this is out in the open, right? This is an article for everybody to read. She put her full name in the article. She told everybody that she's an attorney out of Florida. Now, the first thing I think to myself, what kind of attorney are you? I sure hope it ain't have nothing to do with finances. I sure hope not. Because if she's some kind of financial attorney, I'm not using you. No, sir. No. She'd be like, why not? Because you're in debt and you're talking debt and you don't even know you're talking debt. NC Big says, I already found the video. Oh, okay. This stream is, I already found the videos. I'll send them after this stream is over. Okay. All right. So now, if you're new, again, if you're new to the channel, did you see the way I read that article? Is that helpful the way I read it? Like, because the average person in debt will not read that article and be able to translate it like that. But when you're out of debt, it's a different type of translation. Did you like that translation? Was it helpful? Cosmic says, and attorneys are not making the money they used to make back in the day. They sure not. But guess what? Their student loans are the same price as the way they were back in the day, if not more. Sure is. I couldn't even imagine. Oh yeah, Dave said, you know what's so crazy? With all that debt back in there. You know what's crazy, Dave? Somebody said, who was that? Did somebody in here say that? Or was that on the news? Anyway, they're saying the amount of attorneys that are in the United States of America, it is crazy. Can you imagine how much student loan debt they have? Imagine being an attorney. You go through school, become an attorney, and then you find out that you don't like being an attorney, but you got about $150,000 in student loan debt. Now you can't stop being an attorney. Now you can't even stop. What kind of service are you going to be? What kind of service do you think you're going to get from an attorney that hate their job? They're going to be overcharging clients because they're going to be in so much debt. But usually attorneys like that, they're not saying, hey, man, I'm overcharge people so I can pay off my student loan debt. No, they're just buying more shit. They got to give up that. They got to keep up that persona of a lawyer, what a lawyer should look like. Because people believe as soon as you hear somebody is a lawyer, they think of money. No. You hear somebody say, oh, you're a doctor. You think they have money. No, that's not true. That's not true. One has nothing to do with the other. Dave Sincere says, I like the breakdown of her situation and the discussion of what we do. They have to create more laws to accommodate the number of attorneys. Oh, that's big money, man. That's big money. Gabriel says student loan debt is ultra slave. Oh yeah, that's physical slavery has been abolished since the 1800s. Now this is psychological slavery. Monetary slavery. It doesn't matter what color you are. I know people think it has something to do with color. Nope, it doesn't matter what color you are. Slavery inside of the student loans. It doesn't matter if you you owe student loan debt, you are a slave. Especially this. If you went to college for 4 years and you have kept your student loans for 5 years or more. Put it this way. If you went to college for 4 years and you kept your student loans for 5 years or more, you are a slave. Okay. You're a slave going on vacation. You're a slave in a new car. You're a slave in a new house. You're a slave eating dinner. You're a slave at the all you can eat place. You're a slave at the nice restaurant. You're a slave. Period. And if you're on one of those, let me pull this. Let me pull this up again. See this. I want you guys to see something because this is very important. I'm gonna pull that article back up one more time. 1 second here. I want to bring this article up one more time so you guys can understand something. Now, you see how the opening of this article is in really big letters. Student loan borrows and CARES Act forbearance can't buy or refi homes. There's $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. That's millions of people that are going to be attracted to this article right off the bat. Right off the bat, okay? Bree Lacey, an attorney in Florida. She's an attorney. That kind of information right there is to attract people in student loan debt so they can look at that and say, whoa, if it's happening to an attorney, it can happen to anybody. She's smart and it's happening to her. She makes money and it's happening to her because they believe that it has something to do with her being an attorney. That's why they put that information in there. For me, when I read that, I'd be like, damn, you just told us you an attorney in Florida and you are in debt up to your eyeballs and you're begging for more debt. I can only imagine what you must charge for your rates for whatever kind of attorney work you do, because you need to pay for that. You need to pay for those student loans, and you need to probably increase your prices because you're about to take on some more debt for a house. If I could, I would walk into her office, right? Hey, Bree, I saw your article on there, right? And I would walk into it because you got to remember, lawyers love to post their degrees on the wall. Same with doctors, right? They love to post their degrees on the wall. Say, hey, look, I graduated from this college. I would walk into her office and be like, oh, wow, what year did you graduate? 94? 94, right? I saw that article that you were still paying off your student loans. Why do you still have your student loans and you graduated in 94? That doesn't make, this is 2020 and you're trying to buy a house? That doesn't make any sense. So Dave Sincere says student loan debt is voluntary servitude. Sure is. Cosmic says, when I was in high school, I researched pay careers. The government keeps those in the U.S. Department of Labor. Salary kids keeps those in the U.S. Department of Labor. Kids need to know what they can make before getting those loans. I wouldn't even suggest they even get the loans because those kids think it's free money, but that's how it's designed. Cosmic says, I wish kids would understand what they will make, then ask, should I go into debt for this degree based on the average pay? Right. And then go Google it now. I have to pull books from the library. Yeah. Dave Sincere says, let me say the lack of knowledge is what's killing our people. I was telling my younger cousin on things he could do to get out of debt, and you would think I was telling him who killed JFK. You know what the problem is? You know what the Dave Sincere was in complete shock. Just, you know what's so crazy, Dave? Because that's what you're doing. You know what you're doing, Dave? You're speaking alien. You might as well tell him, hey, who shot JFK? You're speaking alien, Dave. You're speaking alien. Okay. All right, what we got here? Let's see. Okay, I see him, Daniel. Okay, let's see. Let me see what Daniel's sending me. All right, let me check this out. 1 second here. This is kind of cool, man. You guys can send it to me during the show and then we can go over it. That's kind of cool. All right, let's see. Okay, this is a recent one too. Okay, average student loan debt for medical school. All right, so let's look at this one that NC Big just sent to me. Okay. All right, so we're gonna read through this one slowly. I like these, man. Keep them coming. I like doing this kind of stuff. All right, let me turn this off for a second here. All right, here we go again. Big letters. Average student loan debt for medical school. Uh-oh. Got the attention of all the medical people right there. Boom, right out the bat. Oh, that's me. Yes, that's a lot of you. Trust me. 8 out of 10 medical school graduates borrow to earn their degree, taking on an average of $251,600 in student loan debt. Oof, we. All right, we're gonna read through this slowly. Matt Carter wrote this, I guess. All right. 8 out of 10 medical school graduates borrow to earn a degree, and most take six-figure debt, with 18% borrowing $300,000 or more. A roundup of the latest statistics show average medical school debt now exceeds $200,000, while medical school graduates can generally expect to earn six-figure salaries. Near half plan to apply for loan forgiveness. Oh, man. They're going to apply to be slaves for the rest of their lives. Here are medical students, smart people, never once stopping to say, hey, wait a minute, what's the average of people getting their student loan debt forgiven? 99% get denied? Yeah, I'm not going to get into that program. 99% of people get denied student loan forgiveness. Average student loan medical debt is this. Average education after medical is that. Average salary medical degree is this. Average time to repay is 13 years. Blah, goody, blah. I would, if a doctor comes up to me and says, hey man, the average repayment of a medical debt is 13 years, I'm gonna say, how much is your medical debt? $200,000. How much are you making per year? Oh, I'm making $100-something thousand. That math doesn't add up. That means you can pay that debt off in 2 years. Why is it taking you 13 years? That doesn't make any sense. And then they give you some fancy graphs of average. Now let me tell you guys something. Average is made up of millions upon millions upon millions of people making the same financial decisions as one. So these are statistics of people that are in debt doing the exact same things over and over. So they're only comparing, these graphs only mean they're only talking about people in debt that are doing the exact same things. They're all doing the same things, right? Graphics. Okay, that's pretty. The chart shows the average total education debt for medical school graduates are between these years, blah, blah, blah. These are all the people in debt. Between these years, people in debt for the class of this, people in debt had 127,000. For these years, all the people in debt between 2015 had this. That's an increase of that. Total education. Okay, more just numbers. Extreme medical school debt. Okay. They brought, all right, enough of that. All right, yeah, they're not average rates on medical school loans. Typical loan balance. Oh gosh, they're just doing average crap. All right, let me go see something else. Let me see what else Daniel sent me. Let's see. Let me close that so I can get out of that. Didn't you send me two? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see what this one is. Okay, that looks good. What year is that? That's 18. This is 2 years old. All right, let's see. I'm curious to see what a doctor says about this one. This looks like a good one. Okay. I love articles like that. Okay, I'm a doctor, and even I can't afford my student loan. See how they said that? I'm a doctor and I can't afford. That has nothing to do with anything. Who cares if you're a doctor? You just can't afford your student loans, period. There's people that are not doctors that can't afford their student loans. It doesn't matter who you are. But for some reason, people that read that, this is why they put these type of articles up here. I want you guys to understand something. This is for the average person to look at this article and say, wow, even a doctor can't afford their student loan. See, that's the purpose of things like this, okay? When the highest earners struggle with the cost of education, the nation needs to get serious about the problem. The amount of money you make has nothing to do with nothing. That doesn't mean anything. That's just for people in debt, okay? To make it seem like it's something different because they're doctors. I don't, whatever, right? Let's see. Last week, the New York University School of Medicine became the second medical school in the nation to become fully tuition free. Dr. Grossman, dean of the medical school, cited young physicians' crushing debt as an impetus for the move. One may think that doctors with their gigantic salaries are immune to student loan debt worries, but Dr. Grossman's announcement made official what many medical school students have long known. The crisis of paying for education has finally caught up with the 1%. And when they say the 1%, don't think that's rich. The 1% that have the highest amount of debt. Okay, they're the highest people that have the largest amount of debt. I wouldn't want to be in that 1%. Don't make it sound fancy they make it sound like it's a prestige club you want to be in. You don't want to be in that one. That's not the same as the 1% that are wealthy. The highest 1% that are in debt. Okay. My personal experience highlighted the magnitude of the problem. Upon graduation from medical school in 2013, I owed approximately $180,000 in student loan debt. What might seem an outrageous high number, that is actually about $10,000 less than the average for today's medical students. Well, I have no idea why you're telling us that. I scrounged and saved during residency, living in a tiny Chinatown apartment, riding my bicycle to work every day, and sneaking expired patient sandwiches for lunch so I can make my monthly $700 a month payment. I'm not sure why you would be struggling to make a $700 a month payment as a resident. You shouldn't be struggling. That a resident, they probably pulling in $50,000 a month, a year. You should not be struggling paying $700 a month payment. Yet upon completing residency, the amount I owed had to my belief increased to $188,000. I'm sure it did. All my efforts had not been enough to cover even the interest accumulating on my loans. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. As a residency, if that doctor had no debt, he could have easily covered that. Growing up, I expected a career in medicine, partly to be a ticket out of the working class circumstances I grew up in. My parents, immigrants from, okay, here comes the story, struggle to provide opportunity for their children. A career in medicine promised a better future, but 5 years after graduating medical school, that future still seemed on a distant horizon. I cannot afford to buy a house. Of course you can't. Still ride my bike to work, continue to skimp on meals in order to cover more than $3,000 in monthly loan payments. I am far from alone. A mentor in residency several years my senior and making over $200,000 per year once revealed that she had moved back with her parents, with her mother. A mentor, right? A mentor mentoring this doctor is also in student loan debt. She moved back with her parents just to get a handle on the student loans. Another colleague had a marriage proposal rejected because of his mortgage size debt. You better believe that. I'm not marrying anybody with that kind of student loan debt. There is a bigger issue here for society. Young physicians are avoiding careers in lower paying specialties, from pediatrics, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go all the way into that. They're just doing a lot of big stories, long stories. Okay, whatever. Boy, I tell you. Gabriel says, damn, the attorney must be stressing out every day, stressing. What kind of service are you going to give your clients when you're stressing with that much student loan debt? I just, Cosmic says, Google the U.S. Department of Labor salary. You will find the average pay for positions. I had to go pull books back in the day. Gabriel says, I can't wait for members only video tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Dave Sincere says, look at those keywords used: generally, expected to earn. I know, see all those six figures, that's not guaranteed at all. No. I ride my bike. I ate expired sandwiches. Why are you doing that? You make, in residency, you're making like $40,000 or $50,000. Why are you eating expired sandwiches? Because they're spending money on things that they're not supposed to be spending money on. That's all. And then when people in debt see articles like that, they're like, oh my God, look at doctors make six figures and they're still struggling. So it's really hard for us. That's what they want you to believe. They keep all the slaves that way. Cosmic says some doctors are not even working now. They got furloughed due to hospitals stopping elective surgeries. One local hospital kept doctors but gave them 70% pay cut. Slaves, man. I know people in debt like, you mean a doctor can be a slave? Yeah, doctors are slaves too. They got slaves. They got doctors that are slaves. Yep. Dave says, my best friend is a surgeon here in Atlanta. He was only getting paid $37,000 a year working as a resident. If they were in NYC, I can believe they might not be making it a rent or food or transportation. That's a possibility. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? This is what I don't get with that. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Okay, really, I believe they do that. And now this is just my opinion. I believe they do that to doctors on purpose. You go to school all those years, and in residency, they pay you peanuts. They could at least pay these doctors like $60,000, $70,000 a year. At least just pay them something good, right? But they do that on purpose, man. You have about $200,000 of student loan debt. And you're a resident. You can't get married. You can't have no kids. Now, mind you, these doctors, these kids have been in school for like 12, 13 years. You know, and then all of a sudden you're a resident. You're like, oh yeah, I still can't have kids yet because I'm still in student. Dave Sincere says, now my buddy makes $350,000 or $400,000, but that's not including taxes, child support, his kids' education, living expenses, student loan debt. He owed over $200,000 when he graduated. I bet she's in deeper debt now than before. Now, how are you gonna tell? You know, how are you gonna tell say they finally get that real money, right? You know how it must be difficult to say, hey, I know you're making $350,000, $400,000 a year, but you need to hold on for about 5 more years. They're going to be like, F that. I'm ready to live. I get it. I totally get it. They don't want to wait another 5, 6, 7 years to pay off their student loan debt. They want to live now. I totally get it. But a doctor like that, man, if they just waited 5 more years, continue to live in that Chinatown apartment, still live there making $400,000 a year. Oh man, they could have their debt just paid off like that. They would be rich for the rest of their life, man. R. Carp says, I believe for most people, student loan monthly payments are affordable. Most people just don't want to pay them back. They just don't want to pay them back. They don't want to pay them back, period. Andre says, makes it easier for medical lobby to manipulate them. You're right. They become a resident. They pay them peanuts, knowing that they cannot afford to live a life and make those payments. And guess what they're going to do? Put them in forbearance, where they're going to stack even more. By the time they're done with residency, they probably got a girlfriend. They might have a baby. They might have a pressure. Hey, we need to get married. You only live once. People in debt always say things like that. You only live once. We better live now. You don't want to die and not do anything. Okay, they always say that kind of stuff, right? And they're just buried. Now they're at the hospital 24 hours a day. And then all of a sudden, hey, honey, we're married now. Well, you're never here. You're always at the hospital. You don't spend time with me. And guess what? Divorce. Now they're taking, now in the divorce, the woman gets half their stuff. Now, not only do they owe alimony, now they owe child support, kids' school, and still, oh, man. Dave says, They do that on purpose. My friend says there are some doctors who don't make it out of residency. Wow, I believe that. It's like the final stages of hazing almost. I believe that. And imagine this. You make it that far as a doctor to residency and you drop out at residency. Now you got $200,000 of student loan debt hanging over your head. You have to become a doctor. $200,000 of student loan debt with a regular job, you're going to be paying that on for like the next 15 years. Andre's right. Desperate people make desperate decisions, man. I couldn't even, $200,000 of student loan debt hanging over my head, collecting interest daily. People in debt don't even realize just by being in debt, you're going deeper in debt. Just by sitting here, you could be sitting at the table like this, eating dinner. Imagine if you're in student loan debt right now, you're having dinner right now, watching TV, you're going in debt. You're just driving down the street. Hey, honey, you want to go to the store? Yeah. As you're driving down the street, you're going deeper in debt. Hey, you want to go on vacation? Yeah, you're going deeper in debt. Oh, this feels good. I'm relaxing. You're relaxing, going deeper in debt. Oh, the sun feels good. I'm getting a tan. You're going deeper in debt as you get your tan on the beach in Mexico. Dave Sincere says they pay residencies the amount to barely get them by because most of the time they're spending all their time in the hospitals. Yeah. Screw that, man. Dave says they can't even take any sick days off unless they're almost about to die. They got sleep quarters in the hospital for residents and doctors. If you're coming down with a cold, they will give you a vitamin B and C shots. Screw that. Andre says, we've got a vaccine that works great. Just give it to your patients. Sharif says, you're only young once. Most guys use the doctor title to get women. You better believe they do. You better believe it. Hey, I'm a doctor. And then people think, ooh, they're rich. And then they say, hey, baby, you're always at the hospital. You never spend time with me. Divorced. First, they're in student loan debt as a single person with no kids, and then they get divorced. Now they're in student loan debt, doctors paying child support and alimony. Just like Andre said, desperate people do desperate things. We've got that vaccine that works great. Just give it to your patients. Vaccine Act of 1986. Man, I feel for doctors. I really do. I could help doctors, but they probably wouldn't listen to me. Because you would have to do some serious sacrifice. Especially a person making that kind of money, I could help them out of debt so quickly. I could, but they would have to sacrifice big time. Only non-liability drugs and medicine. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Andre. What are you talking about? Non-liability drugs. I know you're meaning something. That's why I'm asking. I don't know exactly what you're meaning. Let's see. Okay, let's see what ST sent. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I kind of like this. Oh, that's Dave Ramsey. Oh yeah. Yeah. I watched those Dave Ramsey videos too, man. That's just I like watching those kind because it's important to see people understand that it has nothing to do with your salary. It doesn't matter how much you make. I mean, it matters if you want to get out of debt. You get serious, you make a large salary, cool, you get out of debt quickly. But as far as making that money and you still have the debt mentality, doesn't matter. Oh, excuse me. I don't want to trade places with my buddy under any circumstances. I do wish I made that kind of money. Me too. But what they endure every day, his work hours, it's all crazy. I don't want to live like that. That money is, I mean, it counts on if he got out of debt, Dave, and he actually loved what he do, I promise his whole life would change. He wouldn't let the hospital rule his life like that. There 24 hours a day, that would all stop. But since he's deep in debt, he believes that he has to accept that from the hospital. That's what he believes. That's what people in regular jobs believe that. So it's no different than a doctor, no different for a doctor. Andre says drug companies can't be sued for ill effects of vaccines. Wow, I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Dave says he works 7 to 7 for 10 days straight, have 7 days off, and then go back to work from 7 to 7 for 12 days straight while he's working. While he's working, he's still on. Oh my God. I ain't doing that. Can you imagine a doctor doing that for the next 20 years of his 30 years of life, and then he retires, and then he wakes up and realizes what he's done? I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. I'll go broke if I do that. I would go broke for it. I wouldn't care what anybody. Oh man, LJ was a doctor, man. Now he's living down in that 1-bedroom studio down on so-and-so street. I don't care what you think. Because he sounds like he's probably a doctor that matches the image. Hey, I got to have a Benz. I got to have a matching house. I got to have a matching brownstone. I got to have the matching shoes. I got to have the doctor look. I could help a doctor, man. I really could. Ooh. Wow. ST says that video is about a guy who fails his medical test. $430,000. Oh, I'm gonna watch that later. How long is that? Let me see. Let me see it. Okay, hold up. Let me see. I want to see this one. Let me see how long it is. Okay, it's like 5 minutes. Let me see something. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Let's see something here. 1 second.
In Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm pretty good today, Dave. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, I'm got myself in quite a mess right now, and I'm not really sure where to start to get out.
Okay.
To start with, I have currently about $430,000 in student loans. Yes, I was in medical school. I had failed 2 sets of boards after 3 years, and then was recently dismissed. And so about 80 of that, 80,000 is from undergrad, and then other courses later on to get into medical school, and the remainder is from medical school. But right now I have the debt, but no degree that that I was planning to use to actually be able to pay that back. So at this point, I don't really know what my options are to try to take out of this.
You got to pass the boards.
You're right. That's a mess. I'm so sorry. That's scary.
That sure is.
How did you get that far into it and then not be able to pass the board?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I did fairly well through the first 2 years, but it was just, I think, being able to, I guess it's one thing to take an exam every few weeks or every month, but being able to retain that and then to recall it to the level of detail that I needed for the exams, I just couldn't put it all together at the end.
Is there any way you can re-engage and still have a shot at finishing?
Not without having to reapply and then go through the process all of it.
What?
Then have to also take out more loans.
Oh my God, he can't even.
When did you flunk the last one?
That was this past spring, and so I was let go this summer.
Okay, so what since then? What has been your plan?
Well, I've basically just been getting by. I was able to find a job. First of all, as a substitute teacher.
Oh.
I was a high school biology teacher.
All right, that's enough. I'm gonna stop. That's messed up. Okay, I don't want to go through the whole thing, but God. Oh my God. Oh, jeez. That would be horrible. That would be horrible. I ain't gonna lie. That would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. Let me put that link in here so you guys can check out the video, that full video if you want. Where I put that? What am I doing with all these? All right. That's messed up, man. That's just, and I don't wish that for anybody. I really do. I could hear it in his voice. I mean, you get with a woman, you better hope she's not debt free, because if she find out you got $430,000 in student loan debt, do you have any idea how fast that would climb in interest? Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, you guys, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna put this in here so you guys can see it. So you guys can watch the whole video. There's a link to that video ST sent. That's sad, man. That's sad. And he said, I guess you only can get X amount of times to pass the board on doctors' boards or whatever. And then if you don't pass it, you got to go through the whole program. He's already $430,000. Oh, anyway, damn, that's sad. I don't wish that on anybody. I really don't. Dave Sincere says you have to be committed to that life. It takes like 12 to 14 years to become a doctor. You got to be committed. You for sure got to be committed. They said, just imagine in the last 2 to 3 years, you realize this wasn't for you after you accumulated. I think about that a lot, Dave. Same thing with like any, like a lawyer, doctor, some kind of specialized whatever. Can you imagine making it that far? And then you're like, man, this ain't for me. You have no choice now. You have absolutely no choice but to do it and pay off your debt, whatever. But anyway, thank you, everybody. We're going to wrap this up. Appreciate it. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, right? I'm going in the members only area. I'm going to be talking about myself, right? We're going to do other SMD family members have gave their personal stories. Now it's time for mine, right? So look out for that tomorrow, 6 p.m. I will post this information inside of the Discord server. The link, not the link, but where to go, just that where it's going to be at. But I'll put the link inside of. No, actually, I can if I go straight through YouTube. We'll see. I'll see how I do it. All right, you are welcome, Dave. Thank you, everyone, for who participated. Appreciate. I like the articles being sent. That's kind of like real time. Have some articles ready, and then we can just do it, and I can just grab it, check it out, blah blah blah. All right. Until next time. See you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. It's gonna be good. My girlfriend's gonna help me. All right, she's gonna be on here with me, and then we're gonna talk it through, and then we're gonna answer questions. You guys can ask me questions. I think tomorrow's will be a 3-hour one for sure. That'll be the longest. That will be the longest member only video so far. Okay. All right. See you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a great day. See you later.